Hello.
Maybe you can hear us. Hello,
Hello,
hello, hello.
everybody. Can you hear us?
Are we in?
Are we in? Happy
we in?
Saturday. Happy
There are 5 people
Saturday.
online. If you can hear us,
Let us know in the
let us know in
comment
comment
section.
section.
If you can hear us, let us know. Happy Saturday, everybody.
5 people watching. They have
Who
not
are they? I hope you all are doing good. I hope you all
We're
are
in the
doing
courtroom
nice.
today, oh. We're in the courtroom today.
We are in the courtroom because matters are rising.
Matters are rising.
And today the squad is going to judge.
Should I button this?
It's up to you. Well, can you really feel it?
Lordship. Lordship will never button coats.
Hello, Success. I see Success in the house. In the comments, let's see.
We'll have to wait for it to come true.
I see Success in the house. Hello, Success. How are you?
Hello. Success. Hey, Success. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. How are you today?
Where is everybody? We say we're not going to do African time. Yes.
If you people know where we ran away from,
you
will be here on time.
African time.
Is it fair? We went to eye doctor's appointment too. And they were running late. If you see the way we were running, kiri paka, we were running. We say because we cannot be keeping the squad waiting.
Then when we got to, somebody just parked in front of us like that.
One woman
just parked.
For no, I even thought she was about with her sellotape car. Just parked there. I waited like a gentle driver.
I ran to the house.
1 second, I make pom pom. The woman tried to do as if she wants to reverse. Then I said, what the hell is going on here? The squad is waiting.
In the house, setting up the courtroom. Oh, we're in court today, please.
Today we're in court.
Today's topic is very, very amazing. And I know you've seen it on the channel.
Interesting. I don't know if it's amazing.
We're talking about should the community raise a child. The African community.
The African community, yes.
And I don't know how many of you have seen the video that's been trending online for the last few days.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll play for yours here to see. But maybe we'll start on with the rules.
We'll have to start with the rules.
An announcement.
An announcement why people are coming in. So as you're coming into the studio, you are welcome to the Common Sense. I can't wait for the episode because I saw the video and I almost passed
we were pissed off. Success. You get the gist. You get the gist.
So we're very happy to have you all here. Those that will be watching later, we are the Common Sense Sisters. My name is Yo-Yo.
My name is Ella. I mean, if you don't know us by now,
why?
That's a you problem.
That's not Common Sense.
That's
don't know
literally
us.
a you problem. So first of all, we want to thank everybody that's been supporting us so far. Special shout out to everybody who has been donating to our channels as well. Yeah. So we give you great thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate them.
And as we do on the channel, we have rules, general, just regular rules of being respectful, being open-minded, staying on topic. Don't use bad words. Subscribe, like, share the video, invite your friends, enemies, let them know about tell them to come and join the squad. Like they can come and watch too. And then hit on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post our video.
Yeah.
If you are new to the squad, you can check out what we are about on our About page. Also visit our community page for our regular posts where we keep you also updated with things that are going on and live videos, and for you to also have voting polls. We have our playlist for you to check out and see whatever videos you might like to watch on there. And if you want to follow us on different social media pages, this is where you find us on. It's Common Sense Sisters everywhere. Common Sense Sisters everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere we go.
I didn't screenshot the poll of today.
The poll of today, and you cannot now open it too.
I can open it. Yo, keep talking. I'll go and screenshot it.
So we usually do a is it poll or be poll?
A poll
asking people questions
ahead of time.
And we didn't have time to screenshot this one. So let's see what we get.
Let's see.
So, and usually we will ask, in your opinion, is the community responsible for raising a child? Explain if your answer is yes, no, and all that stuff. So
it varies from time to time.
Varies from time to time.
We had a very interesting poll this.
So we're gonna
let me see.
Put up the poll results.
About 31 people answered the questions.
Yeah, it's very good to participate in this poll.
So this week's question was: in your opinion, is the community responsible for raising a child? Explain why in the comments. This will aid our Saturday live debate. And I posted, obviously, we posted the video of what we'll be referencing today.
Mm-hmm.
So the first answer was yes, community upbringing is key. 10% of you all agree with that. 58%, which is the largest percentile, they said no, only parents should raise their children. 29% said yes, I was raised by my family and community, I turned out fine. While 3% said no, I was raised by my family and community, I didn't like that. Okay.
So you people must have seen the video that went viral during the week. And we had a very hot topic for this week, and it's along the lines of parents and and children and all that. But it looks like on the streets of Twitter,
Instagram as well,
and Instagram, there were higher powers. Yeah. And you people have already suggested that when the viral video goes out, that we should consider doing that topic, live show. And so we're here to serve. Why you all listen.
So I can play.
So I
made our own edit of the video.
Is it the unedited or the edited?
It's the edited one. The edited one.
Yeah. So we have the video here. We've used it to do some things, and we want people to watch the video, like the trailer.
In case you are not like success, you have not seen what we're talking about today. So we'll just play
a video
for
you to see
on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
Are you ready?
You're no older than my daughter. Do you hear me?
When I look at you, one would think you are mature, but your brain is like that of a fowl.
You see how the mothers judge the graduates? They go up.
Problem, another problem.
You see, that's the video.
That's the summary of what it looks like.
The video was so hot, we had to infuse some things in it. Ella, what do you think of this video? Me, I was...
I know we're supposed to touch on this topic about community upbringing.
Yeah.
In future weeks. When I saw the video, I was like, why? First of all, my question was, why? And who do you think you are? I was very, very proud of the girl for standing up to the woman, because it's something that many, I would say Nigerian, I don't know if the girl's Nigerian, but I'm saying from a Nigerian child's perspective, they would say you are rude. If an elder is abusing you in such a way, I will call that abuse and disrespect, that you're supposed to keep quiet because you're an elder. Oh no, you can't approach somebody at a store shouting in the person's back. The person is quiet, turns to you and says, like, I don't know who you are. Stop screaming in my face. Why are you shouting at me? And then you proceed to say, as a black girl, this one, and that one. That's disrespect.
Yeah.
That's disrespect. Respect knows no age. You have to be respectful to every single person, regardless of their age and gender. Respect is reciprocal.
Yeah.
That's what I know. I'm not going to be respecting you because you're older than me. I'm respecting you because you're a human being. Likewise, somebody that is younger than me. So the woman had no right to talk to that girl like that. And the girl was kind of patient with her, I would say.
Very
by
patient.
Saying, I don't know you. I don't know you. Stop talking to me now. I don't know you. And the woman went ahead with the gesture of kind of wanted to invite people,
like crowds,
or trying to show people, oh, look at how this girl is raised.
Yeah.
Putting that into question. So for me, I was very proud of the girl for standing up for herself. And you see how the woman couldn't control herself, obviously, when the girl called her a fool, because it's anger.
Yeah.
And then she proceeded to want to hit the child.
Yeah.
She said, wait, how dare you?
She rose her hand and say, but you have been provoking this child from the back. And bullies always do this. Ageism is a very big problem in the African culture.
Very, very big problem.
Ageism is a very big problem where you think because you are older than somebody, therefore you can maltreat the person. You can impose your idea and expect that there's a crowd mentality that will support the way you are bullying on this child. That woman has caused a lot of disgrace for herself, for her family, and she said, I have your kind at home for her own children. Because people were watching, there was also like this, there's a young kid there, I think, with the mother also trying to get something to eat. Then you disgrace yourself. The girl says, I don't know you.
Why are you screaming in my face?
Why are you screaming in my face? And she's like, I don't know you. And she did what like any teenager would do, like blah 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 blah, which means that why are you all up in my face? Exactly.
You're talking gibberish. So
and then she raised that. The woman looked like
she looks, you know, because in Africa, people will come in and say, don't talk to her like that. This one is, but you forgot where you are. Because the other day I was at Popeyes getting, and the Popeyes I was at is close to a secondary school, and there were students with the same kind of school uniform buying food from there. And after watching it, I just imagined in my head, I'm like, what will one of these children do here? I don't know what you call it. What one of these teenagers, one of these young adults do here that would make me, that is probably older than them, to start screaming at them and saying, respect me, behave well, you are a black girl, you are in a fish and chips place. Even if you are hungry, world will provoke in this era of pandemic, whereby you are even supposed to be giving distance.
You know, the girl was actually moving.
You are supposed to be socially distant. You are screaming in the person's face. Like, then they will say community upbringing and elder can correct. No, anybody can correct anybody. Anybody, if you see bad behavior anywhere, there's nothing wrong with correcting bad. But how are you approaching it? What is your manner? What is your tone? Are you
your body language?
Some people made an example online when I was reading some comments, and some people said they bet that whatever would have happened if that girl was not black, that woman would not have behaved that way.
Exactly.
And that is the problem. That is the key point of today. Hey, Comfort. Hey, Njema.
That's the key point of today.
Welcome.
And all you people, and I like, you know, I'm so proud of that teenager, and I'm so proud of the parents that are raising that girl, because this is how they used to, when in Nigeria, you know that in Nigeria, I know when I was growing up, mom used to tell us that any person that will come and tell you that I know you from somewhere, say, I don't know you. The lady said, I don't know you. I don't know who you are.
And let's even read a tweet from my elder sister who tweeted that this is actually my little sister. She was minding her business in the chicken and chip shop, and this auntie decided to get involved with her and her friend's conversation and proceeded to slap her. Warn your parents, this isn't Africa. You don't go around slapping people's children. She has now been reported to the police and it's being taken further. Warn your parents not to move like fools on road car. I think this is their British way. Car. Maybe it's cause they can meet the wrong one. This ain't Africa. Keep your hands to yourself.
Exactly.
Effing teeth.
Even in Africa, they not born you well when I was growing up now to come and hit me now. You dey craze.
The main
the fact that you think you dey craze
of today's life is about that community upbringing, because some people were also thinking that the girl must have provoked the woman, she should have calmed down, she should have the community raises the child. I was not raised by the community.
No. And I don't need the community to raise me.
I was raised by two people, father and mother.
Exactly. I don't need the community to raise me. Number one. Number two, another thing is that some of this same claim that the community should raise. When they see a young person in danger, they're not there to help.
They're not there to help.
They are not there.
They forget about community.
Even if somebody provoke you, at least the way you will talk to the person is very, very important. Don't look at it. Don't look at someone younger than you.
Let's go to
and then while the food courts now, just imagine
you are here minding your business. Then an older person just comes and they are screaming at your back.
No, man. No.
How would you react if you were in that situation?
Parents are trying to cope with their children being bullied in school. Then now being black, and then being bullied in school. So you can imagine this girl standing up for herself. There's a lot of lessons to learn from the irresponsible behavior of the older person, which is that black woman, who I think she's Nigerian, that black woman. And then from the young girl, for parents to see, when you raise your child to be assertive, to be bold, to stand up for herself or for himself, then you know that you are doing well.
This is why today,
because that girl could have been timid and put her head down and do all those things.
Classmates probably also laugh at her. But the way she stood up for herself, they will not say this one is not the one.
This one, you know, they tried this one.
They are screaming at her hair. And naturally, do you know how long it can take to do that hair
in her pristine uniform?
You are screaming
in her chips. The girl was even so nice. She didn't even pour the chips on the woman.
The woman hit her. I'm going to play it before we bring people in. I'm going to play the video again. So we're here to judge this matter. There's a judge and there's
me. I'm dressed like this.
Gen Z generation.
And the Gen Z generation who is at the chips and chicken store. Where's your wig cap? Why did you put your judge this thing there? So we're going to judge this matter. People that have not watched the video, we will
because
replay
they said that
again.
They reported the woman to the police. So we are assuming, safe to assume that it will be taken up in the court of British law.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but we're in the court of common sense. And you're looking good though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's fine.
So as my judge cap is here, and I beg everybody will be addressing me two things: either Your Honor
or Judge
Ella. Judge Ella. I accept anyone that you want to give me. This is my
for me,
my emblem. What name do you want them to call?
Me, I'm just yo-yo now. I'm just dressed to represent like the younger generation.
Now I look like a full-blown.
It's okay now.
Okay.
Yeah, you're looking good. You look good. You look good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, we always dress for the occasion. For me, I think that this is also a lesson to African parents.
Yes.
It's not everybody you be carrying your pupu yeke. Ageism.
Please say Your Honor. Your Honor. Your costume. I tell you, make you give yourself name. You don't want to give yourself
name. Gen Z.
Your Honor, Gen Z. Your costumes are looking good.
I'm Gen Z today. Yes.
Thank you. So,
African parents that are used to parenting the public of African race.
They're not sending you message. You're not going to warn them.
Your finger, you know this thing is abuse. It's the same way that in Nigeria we use less respect. It's the same way like in Nigeria, where like you see if a man hit a woman, and woman come out to say I want to collect insurance documents, and the man will say I have your kind at home.
I have your kind at
That's another example. I know it's a different topic, but like if you're an African parent,
comfort, you can also say Your Lordship.
Yeah, anyone.
And they like all this time. I beg. Nobody should come here like today. Now Your Honor or Your Lordship, because this suffer when we use go root this robe and cap.
If you know we are going to root all this. Anyways, back to the topic.
Go back to the topic, my dear.
African parents.
State your case. You know, so you be Gen Z.
I be Gen Z.
State your case.
Yes. African parents, you cannot be perambulating around to carry your frustrated self to practice ageism of, in quotes, you must respect your elder when you disrespect us, the young people. Is it making sense? You must, as an African parent, you must be able to control your lip, control your emotions,
your mannerism, because not that woman, I like this, she's standing. You know, African aunties used to behave now.
I don't even know why they call
them aunties. They say it's cultural thing. African, they could just do like this. Then she say, you see.
Who are you pointing to?
I watched that video like 20 times, obviously, because we were cutting and editing it out.
Yeah.
Like 20 times. That girl gave that woman grace.
In lot
shift back.
And she kept on disgracing herself. For every grace that teenager gave that woman, the woman slipped into a form of disgrace. How can you let yourself go like that? How? It's not right. This is my case now for the African parents. The only thing you are permitted to be spreading is love and common sense. No, not even love. Because some of our African parents don't even know what love is. Respect, kindness, and common sense. And that is through your mannerism, the way you talk, the way you approach people. Because every person at the core of it is a human being before their age and even race. Number two, you cannot be opening your mouth and say the community is racist. Now, community I pay my school fees. I mean, a community.
We know they see community for that side.
We know they see community when it's time for responsibility. We don't see them.
When it's time to come together and dig borehole,
we don't see them. When it's time to fight for children's rights,
when it's time to come together for EndSARS, all the old people for Nigeria, we don't see many of them.
When it's time to come and speak up, be the voice for the voiceless of the young people that are being trampled on in society wherever you find them.
We know they see them.
No, we're not see them.
It's because of the way you were dressed. It's because of how you were talking to them.
No, we don't see them.
I have a suggestion for the African parents who crave respect, but they don't want to give respect because respect is reciprocal. If you're a Nigerian, obviously you're African, but the Nigerian ones, because that's not where I come from. If you are looking for respect, please walk to Aso Rock. Collect your respect from the people that are fooling Nigeria. starts from there. Then we can talk.
We can talk. Yeah.
We can talk.
And this idea that you tell all the community people, please, we are looking for them. They should gather here.
Some people came late. So this is what our current poll. I've been a poll. Poll now. Even what it's looking like.
Even the poll is even saying that no, only parents should raise their children. This is what the poll is saying, or the common sense
votes.
Now 31 not be 58.
31 votes.
31 votes, 58%
agree to this. I actually want to speak to the 10% and the 3%.
If they are here.
So if you say community upbringing is key, and 3% said, you were raised by your community, you turned out fine. Everybody said, but mostly people who are opposing these views, they think that it's okay. Basically, you are siding with what the woman did. Because there are two parts of it. There's the plaintiff and there's the defendant.
Who is the
defendant? Is going to be the woman. That's the African woman that raised her hand on the girl. The plaintiff is the girl. So represented by the Gen Z.
The judge of the common sense.
So
the jury is the squad.
So we're going to be. How can we like change this mentality?
This perception.
This perception, and even the girl's elder sister. I think that she was even still
respectful.
Kind of respectful, because in her tweet she called her this auntie.
Now the cultural things for the culture.
This auntie.
Yeah, that they don't know.
This another thing, these names that we allocate to people. I know it's a cultural thing because
now, so for Nigeria, for school, so to call your teacher Mr. Koloko, you will say Uncle Koloko, sir.
In my second secondary school, now we were calling them Mr. and Mrs.
Now, when I go Ghana,
I was liberated from Uncle and Auntie.
No, when I went to Ghana, when they say you can't call the professor Uncle. My first culture shock within the continent was the University of Ghana. They say, no, you call them by their name. Professor this, professor that.
Those of you that have been raised by the community, what the community use your eye to see? Because for the most part, I always hear negative things. For example, now you will see your mother's friend outside. Maybe you are a teenager and she sees you talking to a boy. Then she will run and go and tell your mother, or she will come and castigate you in front of the boy and then say, don't worry,
I will tell your
parents.
Mom for you.
In a threatening way. Then they will go and tell your parents in a form to ridicule your parents for the way that they are bringing you up, and also ridiculing you.
Yes. Meanwhile, when they were your age, they were flying fence.
Meanwhile, that auntie had a baby at 16. So, but hey, we're not judging them, but we're judging them.
Yeah. So I think before we call into the pan, we call the party
Vera, better picking.
Vera. Oh. We appreciate you.
Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe and share.
We know that now the
more people are coming in.
So we're going to replay the video. Okay, so that everybody will see and know what we are talking about today. You can show the topic if you like.
Okay, so again, for those who just joined in, thank you for coming in. Today we're talking about should the community raise a child, and we're talking about this popular viral video of this African who is potentially being jailed. We don't know if she's jailed yet.
She's not jailed though.
For eating a teenage girl, you get the gist. It's a nice picture. So let's play the video that we edited for ourselves and
You're no longer than my daughter. Do you hear me?
When I look at you, one would think you are mature, but your brain is like that of a fowl.
You see how the mothers judge the graduates? They go up.
Problem. Another problem.
So that is it. We had to add some spices to it so that, because the video was very tense, so we had to do some spices to it, to elicit some emotions. So we will have to put the link, because as you know now, we don't like being the only one talking on this platform. We want people to come and share their opinion on this viral video. If you have any stories, if you are a parent, make sure you let the community, common sense squad, all of us know that you are a parent and your opinion. If you are not, let us know. Have you put the link?
I'm going to put the link.
Yeah. So put it in, because we want to hear. Me, I think the woman is very wrong and she provoked the girl. You know, it's like somebody that is driving a car and behind you, somebody is consistently honking
in your face,
you on the back, honking, and like you know, then they will see, they will go to the right, and then the next thing,
since people are calling now, we're going to be going to the course.
Yeah, then the next thing they will be raising sign, and you know, like traffic violence, you know, that type of things, because she was behind the girl and she was just talking. So come into the studio and give your opinion.
My only experience with
Princess say she actually deserved what she got. I hope other toxic mommies and daddies and uncles and aunties learn from this incident. Hey, you are indeed a princess of common sense.
Princess, you have spoken well.
You have spoken so well. You have spoken so well, because the thing is that whether the African parents will share it in their WhatsApp group now, I don't know, because there are two things involved. They can share it and call their child and say, if you disgrace me like this outside, I will deny you. They can, another set of African parents can also say, you see the way this girl stood up for herself, as my daughter and my son, you must be able to stand up for yourself. She looked that woman straight in the eye.
You won't not go believe her.
That's like eye level to eye level. Like I see you and I see the BS that you are trying to pull up here.
Like, what will make you get into a fight with 18? Like,
for chicken and chips.
It's not with your age mate too. What could have been the underlining thing that will make you like to be dragging respect to somebody? Because we go out every day now. I can never.
See, you know, do you want to tell them the story of what happened to you when somebody
in secondary school?
No, when somebody pour you coffee. When you were about to
that will not be even community this thing. No, that's not even community.
Well, that's different, because I don't know how community we have opinion about all these things. I can't really understand it.
I feel like clapping for her. Young lady, if you ever get to watch this video, this squad, we are proud of you for standing up for yourself.
Yeah, because I don't know what will.
Because she gave that woman grace.
Oh my God. I mean, like, teenagers,
she was.
Yeah, she was straight up being a bully.
From the back.
Yeah, she was a bully.
She was being bullied. No, the girl was being bullied.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, the woman was being a bully. Yeah. Toby say that woman slept in 1950 and woke up in 2021. That girl displayed more maturity than the so-called adult woman did not have. The woman not get common sense now. Because for you to mature, you have to have common sense. No common sense. And she also looks like somebody that I don't know, if we trace that woman's life, there might be something going on.
That's her business.
I don't know how.
Leave your problems on your doorstep and go out into the world.
Because if it's a child of another race, that woman cannot try.
Definitely, because she also said as a black girl. Are you supposed to be behaving like that? What does that mean?
Man, what's the recipe for being a black girl behavior?
What does that mean?
Inside your blackness, you are bringing colorism.
Like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
With common sense and respect.
With anything. Like, so put in the link of, you can come and share your experiences, anything you like to talk about pertaining to this particular issue. Are you a victim or a survivor of communal upbringing? What was that like for you? I think the only story I have to share about, not basically, we like school environment community.
Yes,
we are in body school, because I went to body school now. There was this time I was in SS2 when going into SS3, right? That's senior secondary school. And so I just recently given professorship position, social prefect at that time. So I think another teacher sent me and a male friend of mine. We went together, past the staircase to go and do whatever message he sent us for. And another teacher happened to see me going round school with this boy. And I was like,
so this
Ella,
is teacher B.
This is teacher B, yeah. So Ella, what are you doing here with this boy? I said, teacher A sent me. We are going to go and do what the message is about. Normally, like, you started following boys,
in a mixed school.
Following boys. Like, what does that have to do with any
message?
Like, oh, you started following boys. I'm going to tell your mom for you. I'm like, okay, tell my mom.
What do you mean?
What is that supposed to do?
What do you mean that you started following? But you must have a rotten mind.
Also, it's always at the girl child.
Yeah, always at the girl child.
It's always at the girl child. You know, I went to the staff room that day. Went to see this woman because my guardian there as well. And there was also another student who was my junior. And she called that student before me and said, let's say the student's name is Chrissy, Caro. She said, okay, Caro, do you talk to boys? Caro said, yes, I talk to boys. I said, okay, but do you go around following boys up and down? Try to, when you want somebody to be on your side, you will be inciting things in their heads. Caro said, yes.
You must respect me thing because I'm your elder.
Yes,
Exactly,
that's the problem. That's the problem. So I said, Caro said, yes, she talks to boys, but like she doesn't have a boyfriend. Right? She said, hey, I saw Ella going around. I'm like, how you gonna bring my junior? Person will not be talk to me on a regular day. You want me to record? Tell my mama nah. Tell my mama. Foolish came for visit day. I explained everything to her. She's like, okay, so why was this man doing this in out of proportion? Because the woman actually called my mom, and my mom told her, okay, you are the one in the school, you are the teacher in the school, so do what you are supposed to do in the school. It's a school environment. Like, what do you want me? What do you want to come and to be coming there to come do something to my daughter? And so when I was coming for my next semester, I usually go pay tuition before coming to school now. The boy greeted mommy, and I'm like, mommy, this is the boy that teacher B was talking about, that I was doing something with. My mom was like, so this is a small boy. There's nothing there now. So that's another thing of community upbringing. People that poke nose
in other people's
business,
Yeah.
and it's in an attempt to ridicule the child and to ridicule the parents and the parental upbringing. Because they'll tell you, most people, when you're going out, you are representing me as your father, me as your mother. For the most part, it's because the parents don't want to be ridiculed by their own peers.
Yeah.
By their own peers. So you put so much pressure on their kids. Oh, this is auntie this is auntie this. Whatever auntie tells you to do, you will do it.
Meanwhile, it's not their biological auntie.
Like it's like that's where
I used to tell my friends that have kids, I used to tell them, don't be telling your children to be calling me Auntie Yo-Yo. It doesn't sit well.
We're not bloodline, please, because not be when we're saying
me, I have my own niece.
Because not be the same, one day we grow well.
One day
you marry,
then
you born children,
then
our children will be eyeing themselves, then they will be thinking that they are cousins.
No, don't be confusing those things. Call by name, first name, address people by their first name. But they will
want respect, add Mrs. Mr. whatever.
They will say, okay, for the culture. I'm all up for a child standing up for themselves. I'm up for it, whether it's a girl or a boy, or whether they're a kid or you're a youth or whatever it is. I'm up for it to speak up for yourself. You can't call yourself an elder and you think that you can be provoking somebody and the person has to keep quiet. That's turning
that's abuse.
That's abuse, and it's turning into master-slave relationship already at the peak of it.
It's top down.
At the peak of it. So you cannot come here and be talking rubbish and then be expecting that people, when you go out, people should just worship you because you have gray hair,
because you are old,
or because you are wrinkled. Because some of them are wrinkled. You know why in Nigeria people cannot wait to go old because they want to bully
respect now. Because they too, when they were coming up, they were also disrespected as children. So if you ask many Nigerians now, why did you want to grow up? So because the new thing that say adulthood na scam, adulthood, and it's true. We're rushing to grow up just to come and be paying bills. That's what it is. But you ask many people, why do they want to grow up? Oh, because I want to go out whenever I want to go out. I don't want anybody to control my life. I want to be an adult. I want people to respect me.
But the thing is that the control, yes, she's lucky in Yankee shoe. Yes. Or better still lose her job instantly because the video will go viral. I think in the UK, they are different. They are a big kind. They are pretty calm, yeah.
Yeah, even parents in the house. I want people to
call to call in and talk.
Actually, let us know, are you okay with somebody correcting your child like this?
Someone said, this is Jane. She said, someone should try me or try my kids. I will put them, I will put them wherever they belong. Yeah. You don't go about like policing people's children anyhow and be talking anyhow and doing you expect.
The fact that they expect the child to
and the woman disgraced herself because there were also other children there.
There were other people there now. UK, they're very, very calm. They didn't like, everybody was just watching. Maybe it's because of shock, or that's how.
No, I think maybe that UK, they are pretty nice. I don't know.
I don't know. It was until she put her hands on the girl, and the girl also,
tried to defend herself.
Defended herself. That was when everybody like, okay, chill.
I don't support it too. I think
the link is in the comment section if you want.
Yeah, we want people to call in and come and share their opinion on this topic. I think it's our first time of doing like a viral video that is in line with like our topic of discussion. So people will call in and like talk. Me, I've taught teenagers before. Like you just have to have a conversation with them.
And my thing is that when you know once a teenager, African parents behave like when they gave birth to them, they were just 40s, 45, 50. They just behave as if they were adults from birth. Like they did not go through from being a small child to being a toddler to being a teenager to young adult. That's how they just behave. So I want to know
what is Della saying? Della say it's okay if we are family friends. Della, did you watch the video?
Okay, no, that's their opinion. That's their point of view.
Did you watch the video?
That's all right.
You know,
that's all right.
Me,
that's
for me, this thing. You better go and be talking to my parents. Don't come in my face and tell me nonsense. You know, right from time, my mouth is very sharp. It's true, because from primary school where they bully me once because of they say my voice is like man voice. Since that day when I told my mother said, "Oh, when somebody talk to you, you talk back at the person." That is it. So you cannot come and say that, because the way you approach the situation will be very different. You know, it will be very, very different. So I always think that it is best if you know the family and you have a relationship with them. That's on you. You go out of form of concern.
Oh, except for toddlers.
Oh,
you should always be with your toddlers.
Even toddlers. I think the African parents need to be taught how to respect human beings, people that are younger than them.
Yeah,
I think they don't have training in that.
No.
They don't. Because sometimes some of them see children as people that don't have sense. Some of them, they see children or teenagers or young adults as people that are not wise. But if only you give them opportunity, you have a conversation with them, you'll be amazed.
Unruly, on this, disrespectful. So that's why you have things that people that say, this generation of nowadays, what happened to this generation
There's
of nowadays?
another ageism problem.
Is it not a problem that in your mind, the current generation is not better than the past generation? Things that go up in life are they not supposed to be better than the past years? Apple product that came out today is not supposed to be better than the one of last year. But no, this generation of you children of had a matron. She's like, you children of nowadays. You children of what did you children of nowadays?
The way you dress, the way you do, the way you dress, the way you do. And Jane said, I work with teenagers here in the UK. They can be challenging, but we know how to have a conversation with them. They gain your
yes, Neka, you have to be Jane. You have to be intentional. And I think when you also remember the fact that you were once a teenager, I think at the core of it is putting yourself as much as possible into that person's shoes
and their level.
And at their level. If you're talking to a child, you're not supposed to be looking down. You meet them at their level. Nigerian parents, they will tell you if your parents is doing something wrong to you and you're looking at them in the eye, come on, will you look down? I came to Canada. I figured out that if you're not looking at somebody in the eye, it's being disrespectful.
Exactly. Moses said, don't touch my child, even if she's wrong. Exactly, man. You ain't got no rights, man.
You have no rights.
You know?
What if you see your friends? What do you mean by see your friends?
Della, come into the studio and talk to us.
Yeah, because maybe we're not understanding.
Because we're not understanding your statement and we don't want to misquote you. You know, please come into click the link and come in, okay? You know, you don't have to show your face.
If I have friends in the future that have kids and their child is quote unquote misbehaving, first of all, what do you call misbehaving? Is that at what age is that child reacting to something? What exactly is your definition of misbehaving or being disrespectful?
Yeah.
Do you have issues from your background that you think that people that behave certain way, they are being disrespectful? Nothing will make me lay my hands on another human being
or be yelling over them. Talking over
a child that is not mine.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're my sister's children. Why do you think, what gives you the audacity? It's domestic violence now.
Yes, now. Don't be saying that if she felt the need to correct something, she could have done it.
That is the thing.
That's the common sense that the woman lacks.
You know that the woman would not, she doesn't see her as somebody that is
on her level
or equal, which is why she's saying that as a black girl, you're not supposed to be behaving like this, you know. And before the girl proceeded to call her a fool, the African woman was kind of showing people like, okay, see
now,
this is how this person is behaving. But you forget that this is not Nigeria. I don't know whether in Nigeria or today, if people will also come together and say, Madam, leave the girl in Africa or pounce on the girl. I don't know how the dynamics would have been like, but you get the gist. So there is no reason.
There's no reason.
Unless it is self-defense and you're defending yourself against somebody, why you should be hitting somebody else?
Why you be bullying somebody? Like
there's no reason.
There's no excuse.
If I have kids in the future tomorrow, nobody will be family friend. I will
we'll sue them.
So
Who will sue them?
if you are feeling this, if you want to hit something,
The lights
the light is here. Let's
Della,
add
we're adding you.
to see what the light is.
Hello, Della. Can you unmute yourself? Della, are you there? Della. Why Della is trying to figure out something? Let me see Osage's comment. Nigerian parents and their communities should be taught the importance and meaning of the words communication and mutual respect. Oh! Boza.
Doris, they don't know this one, no.
Doris.
Communication and mutual respect. It has left the WhatsApp group.
Hey, Doris, who will send this part now to them in WhatsApp group? Oh, Chineke. Della, can you hear us?
Della,
you are in the studio.
We can't hear you.
You are in the studio. Yeah, so I'm saying that, what was I even saying? Yeah, if the woman had approached it from that point of view, for me, if you have concerns about a child or whatever, I think the way you approach them, or don't even approach them. You get? I don't even think you should even approach them, unless like it's a dire situation or whatever. I don't know. But don't approach them. But if you also feel that you are uncle biological or auntie biological or family friend that is very close, then call their attention to the parents.
The line we're removing it because we can't hear.
We can't hear you so that you can connect back in. Okay. I think let's add Toby. Yeah. So the latter and connect again. Toby.
Hey, hello guys.
How are you?
Good. Good morning. How you guys doing today?
We're doing good though. How are you?
Oh, sorry, I should have said Your Honor and how do I address Jay-Z?
Jay-Z in red.
Because that gets
Okay. The court is now in session. Man, this is yeah, I know. This is a very interesting topic today. I was just cracking up, by the way. For some reason, the video for me did not even evoke the kind of emotion that I thought it would, because I was shocked. Then I started laughing because I'm like, where is this lady from? Like, like I wrote in the comment section, it appears to me she slept in 1950 and she woke up in 2021, to be honest.
She definitely
because how do you treat someone's child like that? You don't know this girl from nowhere. You don't, and then especially you're not even in your village or in Nigeria or Africa. I don't, from the comment of the so I don't know if the lady is Nigerian or not, but from the comment of the sister, when I saw the flag she added to the comment, it does.
Kenya
Yeah, some East African country it would seem like, but anyway, yeah. In any ways, it's all Africa, and for this lady to have done this in the UK, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no excuse for it. But what I wanted to say real quick is, so a lot of people, a lot of these parents, a lot of these adults, so-called, they are struggling with so many things, So we come from a collectivist culture to an individualistic culture. So where you have the community that want to emphasize the need of the community and force that on an individual. So you must conform to the community. We will raise you. We can slap you whenever we want. We can scold you whenever you want. And sometimes it baffles me. What gives you the audacity to think you can embarrass me in public, like this lady did? And you see a lot of that happening all over Africa. Where you're not feeding me, you're not clothing me, you're not paying my bills. Why do you think that you have the right, the sole preserve, to be my moral police or whatever? So it's a problem. I think Nigeria of today, I'm not even sure you would talk to a child like this in the Nigeria of today and they'll be like, thank you, ma, for slapping me in public.
the other cheek.
Yeah, turn the other cheek, right? I know. I don't think that will happen. But let me say this real quick, right? Because I know there are some people that might be listening, some of the community people, that might be listening, maybe that will watch the video afterwards. Every time something like this happens, you find those that I call culture warriors. They raise this flag of, in the olden days, the days of our father.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ella, what did you say?
I said they don't want to let go of the past.
Oh yeah. This, they romanticize the past. They're like, oh, let's go back to the days of our fathers. Well, honey, listen to me. If you want to go back to the days of our fathers, you can't pick and choose what you take out of it. You got to embrace and accommodate all of the baggage that also came from that era. Exactly. So every time this happens, oh yeah, children of nowadays, they are losing their values. The difference is this: whenever cultural shifts happen, there's a difference between social mores and core value systems. People don't understand the difference, and I'm going to try to explain. Yeah, so cultural shifts happen everywhere. Now, the social mores may change, the social norms may change, but the core value systems remain the same. So if you're a good person, if you're a courteous person, if you're a respectful person, that is going to remain consistent transgenerationally. It does not matter what era, what year, you are going to be a good person nonetheless. So that is one. Now, the manner in which you will express the good qualities, the behavioral qualities might change. For instance, I was raised Yoruba, right? Back in the day, the Yoruba women or the Yoruba girls, when they greet their elders, they will kneel with both knees, knocking and crawling on the floor. That's kind of like the olden days traditional way. I mean, for the most part, who does that nowadays? Really? So we still do.
I think if they want to marry,
I know it does. They don't want
to. I want to go to my marriage ceremony. No. I'm talking about everyday greeting. I mean, nobody goes on 2 knees anymore. You just come in, you beg.
Who have you seen in recent time?
Who have you seen that goes on 2 knees? What you see? Oh, hold on. What you see is that they bend halfway.
They bend. They don't put their 2 knees on.
They don't put 2 knees on the ground anymore. But the point I want to make is that even when they do that, the parents don't consider it as disrespect or anything. Because they know the child they have raised. They know that this girl, my daughter, respects me. So her bending halfway as opposed to doing the olden day style, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't mean. So what I'm saying is that the manner and the style of expressing the cultural values might have changed, but the core value system remains the same, is what I'm saying. And that's what these people are refusing to respect. Number two, our elders need to learn that it's okay for a child to challenge your BS. It's okay.
Please
repeat it again.
When you repeat that again, do it in your most masculine voice.
I thought being calm might do a better job at
it's more violence.
Repeat it again, please. With more voice.
So I want to appeal to our elders, and I want them to know that it's okay for a child to correct you. It's okay for a child to call out your BS, for the lack of a better expression. So the calling out of wrongdoing is not the sole preserve of adults alone.
Facts.
No, adults alone do not have the responsibility to call out wrongdoing or anything, misbehavior. As a younger person, I can call you out. I can be like, senior brother or senior sister, dad, mom, now, bros, bros, or sis, exactly. This thing we they do now, bros. This thing no balance now. This thing we do no balance at all. It's okay. I can call that when I call you out like that. Don't be aggressive. Like this lady. Now, what this lady demonstrated in that video, exactly what happens. She could not believe in her wildest imagination that girl would challenge her, number one. And then number two, when you do that, she's a bully, what happens? When you challenge bullies, what happens to them? They become weak. They fold. That's what they do. Bullies want you to appeal to their ego. They want to appeal to their sense of importance. But the moment you push back and you challenge them, they're confused. And then what does she do? She goes ahead to get physical and she hits her. So that's what they do all the time. So anyways, I mean, I'll keep it short. I'll keep it simple here for now. I think that she was completely wrong, and she's going to learn in whatever she's at. Hopefully, yeah. All right, guys, it's a great topic. Yeah, let's keep it going.
All right.
Thank you so much, Toby. Thank you. Okay, so Della, you're going to come up next. Hopefully we can hear you. And for Nero, he says your device is not connected. So maybe try using, if you're using a laptop, try using a phone or vice versa to see if you can connect.
And if you're using a laptop, do it on Google Chrome.
So that might be the issue. Because if your device is not connected, then we can't add you inside.
Yes, it doesn't give us option to add it. Hello, right, Della. Della, can you hear us? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Put the banner. I don't know what's happened to the last device, but like we are taking everything that Toby said. Though. We hope that the elders are listening. Elders, hope people are listening because this video is for people. And this common sense squad is made up of the youngest person that watches our video is 11 months old. Yeah, so children, we have common sense squad kids that also watch this show. So
try using another device.
You people should know that when we are talking on these issues, it's not only for the adults. There are young people that watch us on this show. They just do it on their parents' device, right? So there's something that Eunice said. Eunice said that being right is not exclusive to adults. Hey, who will announce this ones to African people?
We'll announce it. We'll send a town crier to do that.
Me, I always say that
they want to go back to the 18th century.
Age and common sense are mutually exclusive, which means that it's not the older you get, the more common sense you have. You can be very tall and be matching your sense on the ground as you are moving up and down.
If they want to be old so bad, why do many of them still dye their hair? You're not going to accept your grade.
Let's add Toby back. Toby,
you're the only one that you're.
Yeah, Toby, we want to ask you a question concerning the girl.
Okay, right? Yeah, let's do it. I'm here. I do.
The girl is a perfect example of, I believe, in my opinion, of how like young people can stand up for themselves.
Yeah,
she's like a good example. So if you watch, I know you watched the video. So what do you think?
I did. Yeah. So like I wrote in the comment section, right? The young girl demonstrated more emotional intelligence than the so-called adult woman. I mean, she stood, she was calm, she kept saying, "I don't know you, I don't know you," and she was aggressive. She was trying to. I mean, you could tell she was coming for a fight, but this girl stood. I know a bunch of other girls that will have just hit her in the face straight up, like the first time. How dare you talk to me like that, But so I think there's so much to learn, to your question, from that young girl in that video, especially for young people our age. How to manage situations, how to handle yourself, emotional intelligence and things like that. Even for adults also, there's so much to learn from that video. There are times people will come at you for one reason or the other. And let me say this real quick. When she said, I have your type at home, something, I have your type, something like that.
Yeah, I have your kind of something. Maybe that she has maybe a child that
exactly.
Yeah. So you guys did a video some time ago about the things you don't miss about Nigeria. Remember that? So on that video, I think that was my first video I saw that really actually endeared me to you guys. Like, it was so funny. And one of the things you guys said on that video was where you are, somebody tried to harass you in public and you talk back and they'll be like, I have your type at home. I have your type, something like that. Oh yeah, and then you see that play out everywhere in the system. I have friends that work in corporate Nigeria. I tell me they're in a meeting at work, they're trying to express an opinion, so they disagree with somebody, and the next thing the men will tell them is, Madam, I have your type at home. I have your type at home. Well, and then my friend tells me that what she says back is, well, you have my type, but you don't have me.
Oh, let it simmer in on this.
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause on that.
let's add other people now.
Their connections are getting better.
So
I'll stand by. Yeah.
Thank you, Della. Please.
Della, you must.
Did not community they hold your mic,
If the community is strangling the last mic,
the last mic.
Della, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Community people zero. Della won.
Della, where are you calling us from?
I have to use my phone. Good evening.
Good evening. Where are you calling from?
From UK.
Yay!
From the hot spots. From the hot cities.
Yes, we're happy to have you. Welcome, Della.
Thank you. I don't know how to even start. I have to start with a question. First of all, what she did is a no-no. But what of the healthy way of correcting? Is it okay to correct, to allow someone correct your child in a healthy way?
What do you define as healthy way? I hear some beautiful.
Okay, let me take for instance. I remember when I finished secondary school back then. There was my neighbor, and who's now a family friend. So I know she used to drop her son with me when she's going to work. So the guy took to me. He's graduated now. So he talks to me, opens up. He tells me it's kind of going back in the university. He tell me the kind of girlfriends they like and all that. So one day, my mom went to visit them. So the mom was like complaining that Ayo is a big boy now. He doesn't talk to anybody. He's like, Mom, if you need to hear anything from me, go and meet Auntie Della. You get. So sometimes I'm looking at it. Where can we draw the line? Because sometimes it's not about what's not right. What can we also do in alternative? Because sometimes some kids, especially like me, I'm very good with teenagers, but I'm not good with toddlers because I'm not strict. They see me finish, But because of them, and I have toddlers, then I'm not like very young and strong. I don't have the energy, and they are two. And just 1 year difference. 1 year boy, I get. And I like this stuff because it's very sensitive, and because of that, and because of them now, I'm making friends that are very good with their kids. Like my son is very full of life. He's very active. So there's this particular Gambian woman in my son's school. Her kids are very quiet because they are twins, boy and girl, so they are friends over years. So they don't mix up. But the mom was intrigued that the two of them had my son as best friend. We now became family friend, and she loves kids, and she's very, very, very. So I like the fact that she helps me correct them when we are together. Not like, because my son, like I say, he's not afraid of me. I have to say, I'll tell daddy, or I'll tell one of my brother I works with. I'll tell him. So I like it when she's there. The day she wasn't listening to me, she was like, Tio, listen to mommy. So now, even when I come, I'm like, Tio, what did mommy been to say? Listen, you will not say, listen to mommy, So I don't know where to draw it, but I'm very good with teenagers because I brought my younger one up and everything. But for third, even when I was in the children's church, the 0 to 3 always want me to be with them because they know I will not.
But you have a source. They know that there's a source spot.
They have it in their tiny palms.
Yeah.
I chose 2 special friends. There's the second one again. Her kids are so calm. When we come to that, I even took to her. Her children are very calm in the library, and stuff like that. So because of them now, those are my 2. Because I just migrated soon because I miss the Nigerian culture. For me, I like the fact that my son was being trained by his uncles, by neighbors where I grew up. I could trust them. So I don't know where to draw the line because I grew up in a neighborhood that's where I was for the past 30 years, and I trusted my neighbors and all that. So I don't know where to draw the line. That's why I like this topic, because I was like, now that I'm here for now, I have to pick families that I know I bring up my children because I know my own insufficiencies and all that. And then I have to ask another question. What if as a teenager you see your friend's child? Because I'll still go back to that guy to doing something very wrong. And like maybe smoking, or somebody is pushing her to the corner in the dark. If it's a girl, do you go to the girl or do you go to the parents? What do we do?
So let's answer the first question.
Because sometimes, especially when you see them, I remember one time I had one.
Let's answer the first question, right? So, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yes.
For me, when it comes, I can go first. For me, I believe that you have to first of all see everybody whether they are toddlers or teenagers, as human beings. So it gives that humanity to them, and you say they are capable of making mistakes. Whether
of course.
Or your children.
Mm.
So when you're correcting, there's a difference between disrespecting, correcting, punishing, and discipline. When you are correcting them, you have to do it with love. Children have to understand that this woman, my mom, or this family friend auntie of mine, is telling me this thing for my own good. So, for example, you see a toddler, they are painting the wall in your house. You know they're going to cause you financial restraint. You tell them, honey, you can't do this. These are the repercussions of what this is what you have done. These are the negative impacts of what you've done. Do you want mommy to be sad? It's
like if you paint the wall now, mommy cannot buy you candy.
Mommy cannot buy you.
Mommy will not have money for this.
Yes, okay.
Money cannot. It's like
and
discussion.
You know how your child is. So this is for people like that have to. You will know how they are, how active they are. There's this, at least for mothers, there's this connection that you have with your child that you know that this child is not doing this to piss me off or to cause me financial restraint or whatever. So for me, I believe it's the approach. Yeah. And when it comes to teenager, when I was a teenager, I believed that I deserved respect. But African parents don't give you that.
Of course.
So this craving of, when I grow old, when I'm older, then I can walk into a place and say, because even when I go to Nigeria sometimes, there's a way I dress. Maybe if I'm not putting on makeup and I go out, people will disrespect me because they don't know who I am.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
let me come.
Yes.
So for the kids part also, right? Like for yourself, I've babysitted a couple of my friends' kids from 3 years, 2 years, and all this stuff. I remember there's one time, I think a couple of years ago, these are like boys, right? And they are scattered the shoes everywhere. So I went to visit them. And their mother was like, you see your boys now, they don't scatter everywhere. They've scattered everywhere. So now I'm trying to get them, they are stressing me out and all those things. So I called the two of them and we sat down on the couch and we had a conversation. And I'm like, guys, I called their names. So I don't want to call it out here. Guys, how you guys go? Auntie Yo-Yo, and they were like, I was like, okay, so you know what? Today we're having a date for a particular game. The game cannot start until everything, you pack your toys and you put them in your toy box. You can't be stressing mommy. You put them in your toy box and then your shoes, you have to arrange them this way, you have to arrange them that way. Then I asked for their consent. Do we have a deal? These children, 3 years old, I don't know, at that time one was 2, the other one was 3 and a half. They said, yes, we have a deal. I put on music. Now, so they pack their toys, they go around, they arrange everything. And I have to also fulfill my own part of the game. I acknowledge that. Like, this is nice. Don't you see her clean everywhere? They're like,
thank you.
This is nice.
And
I said,
thank them too.
And I thank them for being responsible and all that. And I said, okay, yeah, let's hit up with the game, right? Because
that's true.
They're toddlers. They are very wise. I think they are very, very wise.
They observe you
and they can read your face.
Very, very.
They
have a spirit. They have a spirit now, definitely, that is attached to the body.
You're not just people attached to your body. Yeah, so we are spirit beings. So I'm able to have that conversation with them. Now, also for teenagers, I was raised in a Catholic family. So this one was in the US. I volunteered in church to be a catechist. So I'll be teaching catechism classes. And I remember when I was telling some of my friends, they said like that's the most difficult thing ever. They don't want to have anything to do with teenagers. But I've always wondered, like, because I know that in Nigeria, like teenagers don't really do stuff like anyhow, like that. But I was responsible for 25 teenagers. Now, this is me, a Nigerian. I don't really know much about American culture and how they are, raising all those stuff. And sometimes you have some of them, like you point out, some of them can be very quiet to themselves. Others are very loud and obnoxious. The other ones are in between. But I always come from the point of view, I'm not judging them. I'm not perfect.
Absolutely, yes.
And I always ask their consent. Okay, guys, you people are, really messing up in this area. This is how I want to go about it. Does anyone have any suggestion to give? Because I have to give them that voice, respect and that voice.
It has to be a two-way thing.
The conversation. And even if in the part of correction, I don't like to do public correction. I can call the person to decide. He might be in a public place and be like, I have some questions I want to ask.
Yes.
I will not understand you, and I don't want to misunderstand you, and I'm not judging you. But please hear me out. Is it okay if I talk about what I want to talk about? And maybe they give consent and say yes. Then I talk about it. The tone, the mannerism. Because my end goal,
of course,
is the message.
And it's for their own good.
It's for their own good. But
I cannot rigid, then they are going to close themselves.
My intentions are good, but I cannot force my intentions without their consent. So I come down to their level.
Absolutely.
And if they say yes,
absolutely,
I'm okay with talking about this with you, and I talk about it with them. If they are not okay, I keep my reservation to myself, because I keep my reservations to themselves.
And so don't judge them.
Don't judge them, because they will also go and learn for themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't believe in imposing. Nigerian has a culture of imposing their ideas on you without your consent, because they think it's for your own good. What you desire for my own good may not necessarily be what I need.
Of course. Even within friends, even within age grades, when your friend advises you and you don't take it, you have become foolish or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like that. And also you say that now you're doing something commonsensical, which is allowing yourself to be around like toddler moms that you admire and all those stuff. And you say some of them, I hear you say that some of them kids can be quiet and behave. Quietness and being behaved in public does not really correlate to whether they are really raising them well.
Their personality thing, either
personality differences.
No, because I told you, I've checked some of them. I've checked them even in the house. I've bonded, and I've seen their ideals in life. Because I might be very friendly out there, but I've been able to select and come up that these ones are doing it right. And I also have what I also offer them. Like, I'm very good with children hygiene. Healthy eating. So there's a sharing. Not that I'm relaxed with them, but there's an adaptation.
Balance.
And you talked about
there's a balance, yeah.
The one who the guy opens up to you. You think he's just opening up to you because you're an outsider? It's the trust. It's the trust he has, and the fact that he knows that whatever he does, no matter how terrible it is, if Dela wants to talk to me, it's from a place of love and care.
And respect,
respect. So even if you are seeing him smoking and all that stuff,
no, I'm not talking of him, not this person, but like in the neighborhood.
For example,
generally, you see a child smoking or a girl that they are trying to raise her skirt up in a dark corner. You are seeing the child, and it's your friend's child, your uncle's child. What do you do in such scenarios?
Yes, what do you mean that like without her consent and all those things?
Maybe she's doing something. She's doing something that you. No, I don't like. Do you turn a blind eye? Someone maybe you saw growing up, like a younger one or something. Somebody young, but all of a sudden you're seeing the person in not a very good, healthy or safe situation.
Well,
you have a right to just.
If it's an unsafe situation, then you have to say something.
Intervene.
Like you have to kind of rescue them from. If it's an
unsafe situation, then you have to.
Regardless of whether you know them or not.
Yeah, that's like regardless of human instinct to help.
But if it's in the case of
because sometimes Nigerian parents to do something that I'm not also comfortable with. Sometimes they see the children, pretend as if they don't see the child, and go and report the child to the parents again.
There's some people like that because they don't want to approach.
But that's also their choice.
And then they will go and report, and then they'll be adding salt and maggi to it because they want that child to be punished. So the parents who people are coming to report your child to you, you have to make sure that you don't lose the trust that your child has in you. If you go, like Ella shared her story, if my mother went around and be doing all this talk of, so you are following boys, so and so told me all this nonsense and other thing, she would have lost her trust there. That's it. So I think you just, as you're going,
it's a balance.
It's a
balance, yeah.
You said you said respect, care, and love. Those are the things that human beings need. And you have to remember too, when I was a teenager, there's so many people be saying teenagers, you don't have anything to worry about, you're even enjoying your time. But no, that's when the hormones are still growing. That's when you realize that you started liking boys or you started liking girls.
And you have to read
different things that are going on in your mind.
Another thing that can help is books.
Yeah, absolutely.
As much as we have like people we can look around the community, I also recommend like books. I mean, there's YouTube where people do some stuff too, like, but I always like, recommend books and all those things that can just help to open some insight, because I think sometimes some parents forget that they were teenagers and they don't remember,
or even some adults too.
Some adults.
So even if they are smoking or whatever, peer influence or whatever and all that stuff, and you see them smoking, it's a place where you can call them aside, obviously, without embarrassment, because if you embarrass me in public, whatever you see,
you take.
That's my own
Yeah.
So calling me outside, telling me, okay, you know, for example, Ella, let me not use my name. Oh, Chioma, you're smoking. I don't know you to be like this. What happened? Oh, until then we even apologize. So I don't know, or they will block because maybe they're in front of their friends. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I saw my friends doing it. I don't really. So because your friends are doing it, does that mean it's good? This is what happens when you smoke. You get damaged lung. So it's like reason. In Nigeria, whenever they want to do corrections, there's never a reason why. It's always do it because I've told you to stop. But there's always a reason for every single.
And they should not be aggressive. Aggression that brings timidity or violence.
Yes.
They should stop being teenagers don't do well with aggression at all. Who does? Who even does? That's the thing. We should not be aggressive in any way.
We not acknowledge them with love. Do you think they are going to now say because this auntie has told me to stop doing this and I will stop? No, they will even go the extreme.
And also be aware that some of them will be like, Auntie Della, it's not your business. And you'll be like, okay, no wahala, have a great day. But at least you've sown a seed. That's the concept.
Then adults should begin to live by example. You know, I remember, let me also say a funny story. We had a help then. She was Muslim, but she's from a mixed Muslim Christian. So she had a very strict Christian sister that was so strict and bent, you know. And when she go home for one of the holidays, so that one was talking about her to church. You know what the girl said? She said, Auntie, I can never be a Christian. If anybody would have even made me a Christian, it's Auntie Della with her character. What am I trying to say? We should also live by example. These children are watching us. Parents should live by example. All this aggression is maladjustment on our own part. Even we should just try and get sane.
Maladjustment.
That's our word.
Maladjusted from the streets of Obodo.
That's our word. So we should just just like the last caller said. Anyway, we all need that mental healing. Anyway, let's just keep preaching mental health. If not, thank you so much. Interesting.
And it was so sweet to hear your voice and to hear your questions and your story. Job. And you're doing a great job. The fact that you can identify that you are better with teenagers than toddlers, that's remarkable. Yeah. I've never heard someone be so distinctive. Yeah,
about that.
In fact, sometimes I literally tell their dad, please. I literally even beg their daddy that please help me code. So we should also know our incompetence. We should accept it. Sometimes when I know there are some areas I'm very weak, I will especially invite their dad on the issue. Please come and you know. Sometimes I even call their granny in Nigeria. So we should also be realistic with our own shortcomings and address it. Sometimes I'm like, Mommy, I will call you later. Please talk to you know. We should accept it and be able to invite people in that we trust to help us when we can't, you know, and all that. Yeah, you guys, thank you. This is the first time I'm even calling out into any program. I'm so happy. I will do it more often.
We're so happy. Thank you.
God bless you very much.
Amen. And that thing that you also said too, that you know, sometimes you would tell your husband, and sometimes you would tell their grandma. It's all part of the community. Even the fact that it's all part of the community raising. But you said one word, it is the people that you trust.
Yes, people are. No. I trust grandma. Grandma was a teacher. The one she did on me, I will like do it before. But the thing is that let's just be aware and open. Let's be aware and open. Thank you for so much.
Thank you.
Blessings our generation.
You and the baby in the background.
My bosses.
Yes, thank you.
Say well. I'm still here. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, dears.
Nero, you're coming in.
The wicked community of the internet inside of the UK side did not prevent Della. Now we are adding the Nero. When we add you, please unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome, Nero.
Okay, thank you. I think this is a very really interesting topic, right? Because it affected most, all of us growing up. I mean, I grew up in Nigeria, right? So yeah, it affected me too. For me, I think what I would say is I think it all started from our educational system, right? If you look back then, like I used to be terrified going to school just because I know doing the assignment, if I fail something there, I know I'm going to be flogged. Right? I'm going to be beaten, I'm going to be flogged. So the idea of, going to school first was already intimidating. So they already started putting that stuff in your blood, right? So it's already there. So take, for example, today, even though when I'm working, right? Even when I'm talking to my boss, right, from work, I'm so very cautious, like super cautious of the words I'm saying, which is not supposed to be like, I'm supposed to be free, right? Because when I see my other teammates, who the white folks that they're speaking there, right? They just speak their mind and stuff like that. But sometimes I'm holding stuff just because, you know, I'm afraid of the unknown, of like, oh, this is my elder, this is my boss. You know, instead of you trying to speak up your mind, that you don't even know people that are going through the same thing you're going through, that you might also help in that process, right? So for me, with that, I didn't even finish watching that video because I already got irritated. Well, as soon as that lady started raising her hand, I already got irritated already, right? So for me, the way I see it is like most, let me not use the word most. Some of our African parents or African leaders, they are power hungry. Right? They did it to them, and so they want to do it to us. So if you went to boarding school, you know how it is. So if you're a junior, if you were a junior, you were beaten, and you couldn't wait for you to become a senior to do the same thing to other people.
Yes, facts.
Right. So it's kind of like similar stuff going on, right? It's kind of similar stuff, and I operate differently in life. Like I see stuff like, if you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to learn, that means you're a dead soul. You're not moving anymore, right? So you're dead to me. Even though you're living, you're walking dead to me, right? So, and I just have a baby, right? And there's so many stuff I've learned from her. She's just 11 months or 10 months now. I've learned so much from the baby, right? So it's both direction. We learn from kids, and the kids learn from us. I think until we have that, until African leaders and African parents start having that mindset, nothing is going to change. They're going to be stuck in that way.
That's true.
They're going to be stuck in that way forever and ever. And I cannot blame them, because I know before I left Nigeria, I was thinking the same way. It's the culture, it's what you see every day, it's what you grow up, that's what you see. You will never think this is, like, if I was in Nigeria, maybe I would never think this is wrong. Maybe I'll watch that video, I'll be like, what's even wrong with that girl? What's even wrong with that girl? It's because we have been exposed, we've seen something different, and we know, okay, this is not right. Like, there's so many trauma that kids are going through in Nigeria, they don't even know they're even traumatized. They think it's normal. They think it's normal. And then when these kids start talking about it, we will say, oh, because you guys have traveled, that you have seen the other side of the thing. It's not like this,
When our eye don't open,
you don't.
Yeah, your eyes is open or stuff like that. But as human beings, there's change is constant, and we need to adapt and change. If you're not willing to change, in everything in life, if you're not willing to change, that means you're a dead soul. You can't just be stagnant in life, right?
If you are not willing to change, you're a dead soul. Because there are some people in this abroad that will still carry that mentality, and unlike you, they would not change. So you're a dead soul.
Yeah. So that's my one set input to everything everyone has been saying.
So since you have your new baby, right? Congratulations on that. Would you like the community to raise her?
No community raise my picking, I beg. I have my wife.
Community, are you hearing? The 10% of you.
Let me tell you this. So she just started daycare. My wife, right? I wasn't even strong enough to go drop this girl in daycare, because I can't stand her crying. Right? Even sometimes as a parent, you get frustrated when they cry, like you don't know what to do anymore because they don't speak to you. So in my head, I'm saying, let alone someone who is not a parent, like, there with her, what are they going to do to my kid? So the first day that they went to drop my baby at the daycare, I didn't go, because I know if I hear that baby crying, I'll just take her home. So in order to avoid any issue between me and my wife, I just told my wife, I say, I beg, babe, just take her to daycare. Even though it's for the week, after she's good. She's stronger than me in that area. So she did it for a week. She's good. She's solid. Now she doesn't cry. You drop her. So now I can drop her in daycare. She'll be waving at me saying, bye-bye, daddy, and stuff like that. So she's a strong baby too. She's a strong baby because I didn't know she'll be able to, stand it for
a week.
Because, she didn't go out anywhere. She was born during, Corona period or pandemic period. She didn't really go out. She didn't interact with people that much. So it was just the mom and I myself. That's it. But for community to raise my child, I don't believe in that. If you see something that my child is doing wrong, it's okay for you to come and tell me, but do not ever raise your hand on my daughter. Never.
Or even scream, or all those things that people do. Yeah.
Do not do that. Do not raise my hand, because I mean, you do it, there's consequences for everything. So that's how my life is. I'm not forcing, but just know the kids that you're doing it to. My child is not a community child. Okay, it came from one family. That's it.
So were you raised by the community?
I was not raised by community. My mom protected me. There was no community raising in this one.
So you're part of the 58%. Okay.
So there was no. My mom took my word for my word. Like if she heard something, she would come home and talk to me, and I would tell her. If I tell her this is that, she took my word for my word, and I trust my mom. She trusts me. So there was no any room for like, oh, I don't believe my son. I don't believe my mom. So, I was not raised by community. My children is not never going to be raised by any community.
Hey, community in the mud.
Community in the mud. 10% and 3%. All of you are in the mud, bro. Please come and redeem yourself today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Nero, what do you think of the teenager that stood up for himself?
What teenager?
The teenager, the girl that was being bullied.
Yeah, you have to stand up for yourself. Of course, you have to stand up for yourself. If at any point in time, I think that's part of home training, actually. Yes. To stand up for yourself when you are out there in the world, because you're not always going to be with your parents. You're not always going to be with your siblings, right? I think that's what parents should do to put in that self-confidence, that self-trust. Like it's okay for you to tell your child nobody's above you.
Yeah.
For them to have that high self-esteem is very, very important to them, because that's one of the tools that would drive them to be a great individual. You know, so for me, for the girl standing up for herself, I'm up for it, because I can't even stand oppression. You know, so when I see it, I'm reacting. So I can't even stand oppression. Number one. So I think the girl did good for herself.
Yeah,
that was good.
Thank you so much, Nero.
We'll remove it, but you can still stay in the background, because at the end we have a panel of everybody that comes in.
Yeah, so you can be in the background.
I thought people were about to say people are sharing gifts or something. Okay, no, I'll do background.
You have to wait for the debate for the gifts.
You wait for the debate.
Right.
The gifts are with Toby in the background.
Toby is the babe.
Okay, no, all right.
Okay.
Jay, you're coming in. Please unmute yourself.
Nero said community did not bring Belen. Do not bomb my child, so community cannot raise
my child.
Community in the mud,
community. Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
Auntie B, we see you. You come in after Jay. Thank you. Hi, Jay.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. How are you today?
Good. I'm really excited. I think the first time I called was last week when you guys were having that conversation about spiritual abuse.
Yeah.
I've actually seen you guys on different platforms that I follow, but I've never really called in. But last week that conversation was like, I couldn't help myself. I was like, I have to be a part of the conversation. So first of all, thank you guys for putting this platform together. I think it's really good for us to be having these conversations that, Africans, Nigerians don't like to have. People like to pretend that, we don't have faults as Africans. So it's good that we're, calling these things out and providing solutions to move ahead. Anyway, that being said, let's talk about the conversation that we're having today.
Yes.
Where do I even begin?
Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Okay. So begin where you need to begin, whether from the woman.
And remember, like last week, please be free.
Yes.
Be free.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to use myself as an example. First of all, I don't believe in community raising your children. The community didn't give birth to the child. Raising the child is entirely your responsibility. To put that, I feel like adding people that are not even in your family, or if just, your neighbors, the people that live in your area, to have access to your child to the point where they feel like they can actually discipline or punish your child is a complete violation of trust. Your children should always feel like, there is one central place where they can come and have difficult conversations. They can be corrected. They can be disciplined. It's a complete violation of trust that you feel like if you're walking down the street, some community member, quote and unquote, can come in and tell you how to behave, how to act. Like, why do we think that we need to do that? I completely disagree that you should be able to give other people access into talking to your child, raising their hands on your child, yelling at your child. Like, that is just completely out of the question. And when you do that, and I'm going to use myself as an example. So my parents were somewhat popular, quote unquote, in their circle. And because of that, everybody knew that I was the child, or my siblings and I were the children of this person.
Yeah.
And because of that, they felt
they had access.
They felt that they had access to us, and in a very backwards way, where I'll be walking down the street and I'll be wearing something, and they're like, "Why are you wearing that?" How will your dad feel if he sees that you're wearing this? Is it your dad that bought this for you? Is it your mom that bought this for you? I remember someone specifically saying that the reason why you're dressing the way you're dressing is because your mom did not
raise you
properly. And in my mind, I'm like, I've always felt that is a complete, why do you think, and what gives you the right to think that you have access to me in that way? And I feel like maybe some people think that they're doing the right thing, and maybe the intentions behind it are good. But going back to what one of the other callers said, you're inadvertently making your kids small. You're making them feel like their existence needs to be shrunk to fit into that community, not to stare any issues. And I'm going to use myself as an example because of the kind of community that I was raised in. Coming to the diaspora, I was shrunk. And by shrunk, I'm not saying physically small, shrunk emotionally.
Mentally.
Where you're not able to speak up for yourself. You're afraid to challenge the system. You're afraid to ask critical questions because your self-esteem has been kind of beaten where you feel like you cannot stand up for yourself. So I just feel like parents, and I always say this, I'm like, I don't think people really think before they have children. If you realize the gravity of actually bringing another human being into this world, and you really think about the consequences of doing that, some people won't jump into having kids the way they do. It's a responsibility that people most of the time take for granted. Now, let me talk about the aspect of physical discipline and raising your hands on your kids. I feel like that's also part of the problem that helps kind of make more dysfunctional societies, because yes, parents are, some people say, oh, they're doing it out of love, spare the rod and spoil the child. But what you're indirectly teaching your kids is there is really no other way for you to express your frustration, your anger, your dissatisfaction than raising your hands on somebody. And that's why they will feel comfortable to raise their hands on other people.
Exactly.
So this is what I would say. Even if you're upset with somebody, learn to use your words. It's something that has come to me over time. I don't raise my hands on people. What I tend to do, as part of the reason why, working with my self-esteem with my therapist, I usually just shut down completely and I don't say anything.
Exactly.
So, teach your children how to express themselves. If you're upset with them, express yourself using words. You don't always have to be, it doesn't always have to be gra. You're bitching, or it really helps your children also really think critically about what they've done, why it's wrong, why mommy is upset, why dad is upset, should they even be upset? And it also gives them an opportunity for them to really explain to you why they did the things that they did. Exactly. So let us not raise children to be afraid, to feel small. There's a general theme that I'm seeing in African societies where we feel like children are automatically second-class citizens, where you can't even open your mouth to say anything when adults are in the room. Now, yes, I understand that if people are having adult conversations, your child isn't supposed to be just talking and adding mouth in a very rude way. But the way we treat children, it's like they don't even belong. It's like they're just an accessory that you're supposed to have.
They are there to be going to be bringing water and coffee.
Exactly. They're supposed to be seen and not be heard. So why are we, I don't know. It's just all backwards to me. So yeah, your community should not be raising your child. Because what you're doing is you're slowly eroding trust between yourself and your kid. And for me, what really, messed the whole situation up is because people felt that they had access to me and access to my parents, they would tell my parents certain things. And then my parents would be like, come with like, oh, why did you do this? Why did you do this? And I'm like, you heard something. You didn't even ask me, if what they saw or what they heard was true. You just jumped the gun and you're already attacking me. And that's where you're slowly chipping away at the trust between yourself and your kids. So please, I don't know. For me personally, I will not be raising my kids with the community. It's like, just don't. Like, if my kid did something to me, you can come and talk to me. I noticed that your kid did this. Fine, we can have a conversation as adults, and then I can take that information and disseminate it to my kid. But for you to think that you have access to yell at my kid, raise your hand at my kid, like everywhere is going to scatter. Is how I like you don't do that. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Thank you so much, Jay. I know that you commented so much on the African parent side. What's your opinion about the girl that stood up for herself?
Oh yeah, she should have stood up for herself.
She did. So what's your
that's what I'm saying. That she yes, I would have if I was in that same situation. I actually wish, because that video actually triggered my memory about something that happened to me as a teenager, where I was in boarding school, a Christian school, and you're not allowed to use lip gloss and stuff like that.
When those type of school, when they used to look at the cover.
I'm paying top dollar for therapy right now because the whole thing is just backwards. Anyway, I remember I had lip gloss on during assembly, and this teacher was like, wipe your lips, and I'm like, I'm not wiping my lips. Like why do you think you can just come up to me and just tell me to wipe my lips in front of people? And he like gave me 2 slaps on my face. And I feel like in that moment, the way that girl stood up for herself in the video, actually, I was like, I wish I was able to stand up for myself in that way. So I don't think the kid did anything wrong, in my opinion. You should respect yourself as an adult and treat people with respect.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jay, for even opening up and letting me. Every week you unpeel, unpack, and we learn a lot. So like, we're sorry for that experience once again.
So we'll reserve you in the background for the debates while we'll bring another person on.
All right.
Thank you. So now
hit the like button now.
If you don't hit the like button, wait till you gain. Hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, please do yourself a commonsensical favor and subscribe. It's just common sense. So we say before I bring sweet Auntie B, the average African adult is walking around with unresolved trauma, and they often transfer the aggression on the kids. We go tackle this matter for the
when I tweeted about this thing a few months ago, people almost ate me up on Twitter.
They ate themselves.
We will reserve this for next time. Let's add Auntie B, please.
Beautiful Auntie B.
Auntie B,
common sense sisters. The one and only common sense sisters.
Auntie B.
I salute you now. I salute you now with my full chest. I salute you now, goes bas.
Why we cut through today?
Ella, is it cut? Is it lawyer? Which one you wear now? Lawyer, I mean a judge or not? Me. All this costume, I don't know where you find them from.
They dress up for the show because
they dress up, now they look the parts.
Yes, because when we look,
you're not Gen Z, she's representing the youth.
If we don't look the part, the message will not be taken common sense.
Oh my God, you ladies are hilarious.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Now welcome. Actually, I'm just coming from an outing we had very, very far from me as we were driving coming back to London. One of the ladies in the car started watching your show. I said, this show, I just pray that you guys will still be live by the time I get home. I need to get in because I have something to say.
Yes.
I say I have to say something. I'm sure you guys already saw the comment I put even before you came live.
Our body they sweet us. I told
Because
myself in my spirit
this
that
thing is
unless
something that is so close to my heart. Like I fought so many people on my Instagram page about this particular video that we're talking about. So I'm so glad that you ladies are talking about it. And I intend to also talk about it because I feel like there's so much to say about that video. Okay. It's only a short clip, but there's so much about that video. So first of all, on the group, on our UK group, it was one of our sisters that posted it, and it generated a lot of conversation within the group. That was on WhatsApp. And the first, some of the ladies that came on firstly were saying that, oh, this child is so rude. This child has no home training. This child is so disrespectful. I saw some of the comments. I didn't say anything. When I saw it, the first thing I said, if you hit my child, I will come for you. She's lucky that is not my child. If it's my child, that fight never finish. I go find that woman, go her house. You see how people say that I'm advocating for women. When it comes to children, if it's zero tolerance, for maybe they slap woman or they beat a wife, they beat partner, all those ones are adults here. But for children, I go come out club fight. I go fight. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so let's look at it critically. We come from a background where people believe that children should respect adults, but children don't deserve to be respected. Okay? And the funny thing is that all these so-called adults, African adults who are walking all over the place now, damaged and looking for people to put their frustration on, like that woman, she forgotten that she was a child at a point in her life as well. And she knows what it felt like not having a voice, not being able to answer, to even express yourself. When an adult, a typical Nigerian adult will ask you a question, they assume that is a rhetoric question. So you're not supposed to answer. Just quiet as a child. You're not supposed to talk. If you ask them a question or you talk back, you've committed an offense, and the next thing that will follow, now slap. They're going to slap you. Right. So this is the mentality of a lot of African adults. They go about demanding respect. But they've forgotten that respect is reciprocal. Whether you are a child or adult, we are all human beings. Everybody deserves to be respected. Your own child as a parent, and that I respect my children. I listen to their opinion because I know their opinion is valid to me. And I also raise my children to respect adults and also listen to them, but also be able to respond.
Yes.
Okay? Not respond rudely, but respond, with respect. But looking at that video, the woman started by yelling, shouting at the child for whatever reason, and she's a teenage child. And I tell you, I had a lot of heated conversation about this, even on my Instagram. One lady came there and said, this is the problem with British black children. They have no training. They go all about the whole of the street of London unruly and misbehaving. I say, shut it, zip it. Which British children are you talking about? Which British children? Black children. British black children. I say, zip it. British black children are the most respectful children you can ever think of. Because they are raised by African parents, we teach them that anybody that is older than you is an uncle or auntie. So automatically, whether they don't know you, they don't have that courage to call you by name. Okay? So once you are black and they see that you are elderly, they always won't put that auntie, uncle. So, and I asked this lady, I said, let's switch the equation. Let's say that this kid was white. And this lady that is behaving like she's lost some screws from her head is working in a school. She's a school teacher. And a child is misbehaving and the child is white. We should be yelling the same thing and saying that you are more than enough to be your mother, have your mate at home. You are not respecting me. We should behave like that to a white child in this country. We should have the courage to speak to a white child like that, much less raising her hand on somebody's child. We died here. We died here. No, she wouldn't. But you see, women like that and African adults like that, they're always walking around looking for people to respect them. Yes. Meanwhile, they have zero respect for themselves because you don't go into a chicken and cheese shop. This is where they were. And you disrespect yourself to engage with a teenager.
Yeah.
You are not only engaging, you are disrespecting and debasing her by shouting at her consistently until the girl had it. So turn around and say, stop shouting at me. You are not my parent. So you cannot talk to me like that.
I don't know you.
Can you see how she's talking to me? Can you see how she's talking to me? Then he start yelling at the girl to shut up. He started yelling at her to shut up. Why? Because as far as she's concerned, whatever she says to that child, the child should swallow it and say, thank you, auntie.
But she said, I have your kind at home.
Yes, I have your kind at home. Yeah, it's okay to have my kind at home. Go home and abuse your own if this is how you train your own. But nothing gives you the right whatsoever in the United Kingdom for you to come to a chicken and cheese shop and you see another person's child and you have the audacity to not only talk to them in a very disrespectful, demeaning way, then you follow up by raising your hand. That woman crossed the line. She really, really crossed the line. And what is this nonsense about community raising? Who community help? Who community help?
Yard people. Yard people.
All these people, when would they see up and down love, then when don't damage up and down, they suffer from one trauma or the other. They suffer from when they look for people to put their frustration. Not be community raise them for Nigeria.
Auntie Pina, you start this thing at the show from a few months ago for your channel now. I think my voice is echoing in your background.
Is it?
Yes. So when you started the show now a few months ago on your Obodo Igbo TV channel, when adults started calling in, talking about waiting community do to them. And community, some people may not understand. It's not just only people that are physically around where you live. They are either in church or in the school in form of teachers and PTA, this thing, or they are in the household, neighbors around their people. A lot of wahala that community, in quotes, have done to harm a lot of people who some of them are now adult now and are suffering from it. The previous caller, Nero, said that because of what happens to him, he was always afraid to go to school, right? Even as an adult now working in the US, to be confident enough to be free with his
because boss. That thing of me versus authority. Yes. If I'm wrong, they will shout at me. If I'm wrong, they will.
Let me ask you guys this question. This is what I always say to all these so-called people that parading community up and down in the diaspora, especially. Oyibo that own the countries that we live in. Okay, this incident happened in the UK. Oyibo, they know they shout for their children. Oyibo raise their children with love and kindness, especially British Oyibo. See, British in Oyibo are the most respectful people in the whole of Europe. Their culture is built on respect. Okay? So British people, they not go church, but they value human being. They get kindness, they get respect, they treat you with respect. That is how they are. So I ask all those people, say those Oyibo that they are raising their children in this part of the world and their children turn out right. How come the children are turning out right? Their community, no, they beat them up and down, they shout for them, they say, it's you that do this, I'm old enough to be your father. I'm old enough to be. So to me, it comes down to respect. It all comes down to respect. Everybody deserves to be respected, whether you are a child or an adult. And children respond to whatever you give them. Yes. If you show a child love, the child will love you back. If you shout at a child, they are bound, especially teenagers. They will respond in the same way.
Yes.
And if you can't be one Olori Buruku somebody, you see somebody, child, can't decide to raise your hand on that child. You know the only thing they pay me for that video? I would like to see where that teenage girl beat that mama, sit down for him head for that ground where they did. It was sweet my belly.
If honestly we go, I thought that she will pull out her wings.
She herself now, but the video was very short.
You know, she was saying that this is what you do. You black kids. This is what I bet when she for do her census, where they see black kids where they misbehave. And then this lady, this young woman on my Instagram was saying is black. I say, you get children? Do you have children? Let me ask you first of all. because it is easy for you to sit in your corner and you'll be chatting nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you have children?
Facts.
I said, then if you don't, then just be quiet. Black kids, African kids that are from African background are so respectful.
Extremely.
They are so, because a lot of them, even though they are born here, because of the way we've raised them.
Yeah.
And I said to that person that was arguing with me on Instagram, I said, if children are unruly and they misbehave, why would they do that? Look at their parents. Just look at their parents.
They're reacting to something.
There's a reason why children misbehave. There's a reason why you need to understand children to know that children, they're not born them with anything. They are empty like this, and are empty they be. Anything you pour into them is what they will grow up to have and to bring out.
Exactly.
If you fill them with love, they will exude that love. If you fill them with hate, and you keep beating them and abusing them and doing things to them, they will grow up to be angry teenagers and adults. They will have trauma. They will have a lot of things that they will start, like your previous caller said, she's dealing with therapy now because of what she suffered as a child. And I think our community, we are not even in a place where we even have the conversation around childhood trauma and what it does.
They go quote Bible.
Because what happens to children when they are children, they deal with it for the rest of their lives.
Kind of defines them.
So when are we going to stop this nonsense about saying it takes a community,
It takes a village.
Until it takes a what freaking village? Which village? Now village help me carry pregnancy. Village they when are they shout the one leg heaven and head when are they push? Which village?
Village are not
which village? Which village? All the ones where village raised, how they turn out? How they turn out the ones where village raised for Nigeria?
Now they rule for Nigeria. Now they rule. One way village raised. Now they borrow money.
My people, I don't want to take too much of an time. I figure other callers when one join, but I want to say something before I leave. It's about respecting the rights of every human being, even if not your child. As I did so, I have both adult and teenage children. If I do something wrong, I call my youngest son, who is 15. I will apologize to him. I know if he say because I'm in born now, I be mama, it is not picking. I be African parent, but I have chosen to parent my children differently.
That you was to say sorry.
Yes, I did say sorry. I go say sorry. I say I'm sorry. I was upset. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Then I give him a hug and kiss him, and it's gone. You don't clear for your mind.
Now better mama you be.
Why you no go apologize to Pikin? They know they apologize to you. If they do something wrong, they go apologize. So if I do something wrong, I know they proud. I know they're proud because I want my children, because oh God. See, this matter they vex me because I made up my mind from the day that I became an adult, that I said, okay, I'm going to get married and have children, that I have chosen to parent my children differently. I not parent them as my papa and mama parents me. I not parent them as my uncles, they parent the children, or as my friends, they parent, because for here, you go see African parents where they do exactly as their forefathers do. And I said it on my show that when it comes to parenting, that one area that my husband and I disagree a lot about parenting, because my husband is this kind of person that will come and tell you, my father did this. Oh, my father say, I beg. Oga, rest. Your father is dead and gone years ago. You cannot be raising your children in 2020. Your father raised you in the 1960s. This is millennial children. They raised you in Nigeria in the 60s. This is millennial. You don't raise them the way your father. I say, so you don't see anything wrong in the way your father raised these children? Say no. I say no. Your father is an abuser. If you don't know, make I tell you. Well, the day I told him that, he was shocked. I said, because you were scared of your father growing up. When your father is coming, all of you will be running off. You'll be taking off. When I sitting room, they watch TV. When I quickly when I go wrong. I said that one is not right. I tell him, he was shocked. I said yes. I said, because a loving father, children don't go here and they come. They go, they take off, they put television, they hide. Why are they hiding? You be ojuju. He said no. Maybe it's because they didn't do their chores. I said, for whatever reason, you don't run away from your children. If your children are not running towards you, they are running away when you open the front door, you are doing something wrong as a parent.
Exactly.
You are doing something wrong as a parent when your children don't run towards you, they run away from you. Your children should run to you, give you a hug and a kiss when you come into the house. Not run away. Whatever they've done, you deal with it later.
Yes.
But that first welcome for you as a parent that is protecting and loving your children, you discipline them with sense. If they run towards you, hey mom, how are you? Give you a kiss, hug. Hey, okay. Like I just came in now. We're doing laundry in the morning. The clothes I told Toby to dry since I left the house. He not dry them. He was just drying them now. I opened the door. He still run, come meet me. Oh. We hug, kiss, he carry my bag. We go into the house. I saw that the laundry basket is just, it looks like he just finished drying them. I said, did you just dry the clothes? He said, yes. I forgot. I said, since morning I told you to dry these clothes, you didn't dry them. So with that one, because children will always be children. Another thing that African adults do is that they expect children to behave like adults.
Auntie, I'm peeling this banana.
I'm happy. That's why we're listening.
They expect children to behave like adults. So you will see this lady in the church with a 3-year-old. Hey, sit down in one place before you know she starts screaming out. I say he's a child. That is the age. They are not meant to sit there in one place at 3. That's why they run up and down. It is their nature. That's why you both take their children to park to go and run until they are exhausted. Then they go home and sleep. You lock your own child inside the house.
There's park. No park.
Here, there is no, is there no park here? Park they here now. But the typical African parent no go carry in child, go park. You go lock inside house from morning till night. This pikin get too much energy. You don't see anywhere to exert all the energy to reduce all the this thing in their body.
Everything.
Then he starts saying, hey, you don't listen. I told one woman one day, I said, you know, this child is 3. What do you expect that you will take this child out to, even if it's a public place, you expect the child to just sit down, fold his hands and be looking? I said, no, he's a child. That is the nature of a child. This is what he's supposed to do. If you even sit down somewhere that is not running around and, then there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
Exactly.
So don't expect children to behave like adults. Children will be children. Adults will be adults. Learn to correct children in love.
Sure.
Correct them in love. If they do something like, this public thing that children, if they misbehave like teenagers, if you know their parents, talk to their parents about it. And even that woman, I'm telling you, she was talking to that child with a very soft tone and say, oh, darling, oh, this thing you're doing, oh, well, I know I'm not your parent, but I just think that this thing you're doing, maybe you should consider the implication of what you are doing. Because they think, children, they think.
Yes, no.
People think they don't have sense, but they have a lot of sense. They are so much smarter than we give them credit for. You talk to them in love. She go even listen, say, thank you, auntie. But this auntie now shout, it starts. Begin to shout. Who you they shout for? Now you born the child. What gives you the right to shout at another human being? And that shouting is about shaming the child, humiliating her, and trying to silence her. So me, as I did here, so no, I won't take it. You can't try it with my child. I don't do it to my children, and you cannot try it. You when you not even born the pikin, you cannot dare it. If you dare it, the fight never finish. Go, all of us will end up for court.
We'll rock it out. That's why we're in the court of law now. That's why we are dragging them.
We'll go end up for court because I am ready to tear cloth for children matter. I not play with my children. Don't dare it. So that's my take, my darling sisters.
Thank you so much, Auntie B. We appreciate your presence and we appreciate your contribution so much. At least they don't hear from different age groups.
African parents are in the chats. See your mates, See your mates. She apologize.
See your mates in the YouTube channel.
Wait, they're gonna say, hey, look at her mate. Did they have 2 heads? Now the one telling you.
Parents,
look at they have 2 heads though.
When they tell children, say, look at your mate. The children don't fit there. They say, you call your mate. Where your mate? They where your mate.
Wait, Auntie B, you know the funniest thing? The age group that watch our channel, they are from 11 months to 65 years old. And we know some common sense kids, which means their parents watch and the kids, they watch the show. So all those children, if you not just get the liver to tell their parents back to see your mate. Children, cut this side.
Forward down.
Say, I was just saying this thing. What do you think?
I said I'm going to bring some Nigerian British kids to come and talk about African parents on my show. so that maybe they go listen to hear what these children think.
You should, because I think you've done it with Toby before in the past.
I done it with Toby before, and you guys saw the other video that I did the other day, the funny one I did with PJ, that we're talking about school, and he was speaking all those plenty English because he said, talents are different. It made good sense, you know. I know I was joking. Obviously, I'm not going to force him to go and study what he doesn't want to study, you know, and all that. That was a joke, but this is to tell you that these children are so much more intelligent that we give them credit for. They have perspective. They have insight. They know. African parents. God
I think
help
you
us.
should do that on your shrine. Yes. That would be fantastic.
No, African parents. No, we must do things differently. We cannot continue the way we're raised. No. We must raise our children differently. We must. Thank you, my ladies.
And to be parents on online are also sharing the same mentality as you, because Anya said she apologizes. Her son has also said,
yes, why not? Apologize to your children. Don't be too big. Don't be too proud because you are the parent. Because one day you self go old. That time you will come weak. These children, and that time they can't be adults. Now that time, if you don't do well, they can't deal with you.
They will deal with you.
Thank you so much.
I think.
All right, sweethearts. Take care of yourselves.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Africa, now we're opening the floor for the general debate.
Yeah.
Africa parents, I don't see on a mate for UK. She did have two heads. Kids too. Della called in. Nero called in. Auntie B has called in. Auntie B represents the older generation. All those older generation, when I see on a mates, you will not have the right to come and tell her that she just arrived.
You say you disagree with the caller. You can call in.
You can let us know
before we put everybody in.
We're not going to wait for an debate.
We will start the debate so that you let us know what you disagree with. Let's hear from you. Because we also want to hear from the community people.
Yes, because you cannot just say you disagree, because the caller made a lot of points.
Different points. You know? So let us know.
So you call in, okay?
What you are disagreeing with.
We're
adding everybody now.
We're adding parents, all of you that are writing here that you apologize to your children. If we ask your children, they say Nehi Kaba.
We just said it's true.
They say Nehi Kaba.
You
write on and say, hey, my parents go to, mommy,
she's way. Okay, let me
I think I saw someone's comments here, and I think I wanted to do it for the panel.
For the question for the panel.
Yes. You know, I think everyone is on there, and if you can unmute yourself if you want. Have people ever had the guts to tell your parents that you should apologize? I've told my parents that before. Have you ever asked your parents? Don't say who said who?
I already answered you.
Yes, I've told my mother that before. Yeah, I've told my parents. My mama they apologize, but my father.
I've not told my own parents to apologize to me.
No, not me. I never get liver reach that side.
I've told my parents to apologize to my siblings, but I never told my parents to apologize to me.
I'm saying your siblings have to tell your parents now to apologize to you.
Yeah. I've told my parents to apologize to me actually. But I only got the nerve to do it when I got older, and I just began to realize that like the impact of an apology, I don't think that people realize what that does to a kid. Especially as kids, we know when our parents are wrong. Like we know when they're 100% wrong and they're still doing gra, and you're like, you know you're wrong. So when I was much older, this is like, and much older would be like when I was like in my like early 20s, then I would be like, but mom, you're supposed to say sorry. But would she say sorry? No. She'd be like, okay.
Sorry.
She doesn't say
this kind of sorry. This kind of sorry.
They will be making their way out.
There's one experience like that, too.
Sorry, Kay.
When your parents
are you hungry?
Yeah, that one is.
Are you hungry? No.
Yeah,
that one is common.
No, come and eat rice and dodo. I will fry dodo for you. I'm like, open your mouth and just say sorry.
That one is sorry by action. Sorry by action.
No.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens is the impact of the physical and verbal discipline. I feel like action doesn't really take away, because for me, I feel like for you to open your mouth and as an adult, at least back in the day, to say sorry is a complete acceptance that you were wrong and you're seeking the person's forgiveness. Whether you cook rice from morning to night, it doesn't really make, to me, for me, it's not the same effect as for you to open your mouth and say I'm sorry. Because the funny thing is that parents don't hesitate to ask you to say sorry when you do something wrong. So why can't you expect the same from them? I'm still waiting for I'm sorry. Will I get
so I have a different take on that. So the way on the sorry part. So the way I was raised, when I was growing up, my parents, the rice and dodo thing, yeah, they did that. So I'll be my
fried plantain.
yeah. My mom was I was raised by my father was in the military, and my mom was a teacher. So two disciplinarians, so I know, right? I got the full dose. Now, whenever I did something wrong, my mom would be like, and then she realized, she'd be like, Toby, so your rice with the extra meat is on the fridge. I'll be like, eh? Like I wasn't sure if she was talking to me or she was talking to somebody else. So that worked for a while, but now that I'm an adult, I'm all grown now. She's older now. As parents get older as well, the gra kind of, it goes down, it reduces, yeah. So now she's more like.
I disagree on when they are older. My own father.
So you think? Wait. Oh, sorry. So as some people, as they get older, they get more aggressive. Is that what you're saying?
Manipulative is the word.
Yes. You're very right. So my mom now, when we talk, she's an amazing woman. She's all retired now. So whenever we disagree on an issue, she's more like, that thing we're even talking about the other day. I now see what you are saying, but it's not like I was wrong too, but I just wanted you to see it my own way too. Now it's more like dialogue, it's more like mutual understanding, as opposed to back in the day, when things were like, do it my way is the only way, and things like that. Anyways, but what I wanted to add real quick is this. Like I was saying about the video, and there's so much to unpack from that video. That, like I said before, that young girl displayed more emotional control and more emotional intelligence than that woman, and there's a lesson there for all adults. You know what I'm saying? And that's very, very key. Like the girl kept saying, I don't know you. I don't know you. Stop talking to me like that, And then she lost it, and then she became physically abusive. And the other part is our parents, our adults, our elders, they need to realize that when there is a cultural shift, like I was saying before, the norms might change, the mores might change, but the core value systems remain the same. I'm going to be respectful, I'm going to be a good person, I'm going to be courteous, but it doesn't mean that because I don't do it the way the ancestors did it, all of a sudden, God bless our ancestors, but golly, this is 2021. We're not going to be walking around the same way they did. And finally, let me say this real quick. The aggression part, Jesus. It's an African thing. I know there are non-Nigerians on this platform, so let me make it more generic. It's an African thing. When I decided to jackpot from Niger, I remember when I went to the airport. When I went to the embassy. Yeah, it was the U.S. embassy. So watch this, guys. This is an amazing, funny story. I got to the embassy for the first time in my life. And I had never been to the American embassy. I went there. So when I got there now, I apparently knocked on the wrong window. This was almost 20 years ago now. I apparently knocked on the wrong window to ask a question. This guy, apparently maybe about the same age, he was like, how can I help you? I was like, oh, sorry, is this where we're supposed to submit the form? He said, then he goes, are you mad?
Oh, God.
Yes. So he said that, are you mad? How dare you ask me that foolish question? So, You know what I did, guys? I turned behind me to find out if he was actually talking to me or if he was talking to somebody else, because I couldn't understand what I said that warranted that kind of response. You know. So what am I saying is that the aggression part, we have a generation of people who lack empathy in our culture. So we come from this collectivist community bullshit, and then immediately the Europeans came and then the military took over. So all we know is to talk to ourselves with aggression. My friend, will you get out of here? My friend, come back here. My friend, go over there. My friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. That's all we know. That's all we know. That's all we understand. We've never learned anything different. How to be courteous, how to be patient, how to be calm, how to be respectful. We've never known any of that. And what do? We take it out on the children. Your salary is unpaid, your children will pay for it. The government is repressing your life, your children will pay for it. The community is not working fine, your children will pay for it. NEPA cuts your electricity, your children will pay for it. ASU is on strike, your children will pay for it.
Yeah. So let's ask Omoti. Omoti, I think you have to move closer to your mic or speak up
I'm not hearing you well.
We need. We know that. We know,
better.
We know. Yeah, it's better now. Yes, welcome, Omoti. So I know that everybody has given their individual opinion before we're having the debate now, right?
Yeah.
Tell us. You watch the video, right? The UK video.
Oh yes, I saw the video. I saw it.
So tell us how you feel about the video. As an African parent and as a mother who has beautiful Bella. Let us hear.
Oh God. As Auntie B has said, we died there. We died there. Because I did not say the justification for our reaction. I didn't say it because there was absolutely no reason for her to react the way she reacted. Because if you look at the video, she was talking at the back of that girl, and the girl turned around. Why are you shouting at me? I said, why are you shouting at me? I don't know you. Oh, I have your age at home. Who gives a hoot if you have my age or older or younger? I don't care. I don't know you. And this idea of, because I'm an older woman or an African woman, automatically you have to respect me. You don't know me. I don't know you. And from what I read on social media, that girl is not even Nigerian or African.
Yeah, I think she's Kenyan.
I think her sister, she's in Africa.
Yeah,
I think her sister responded.
And her sister has the Kenyan flag on there. So I think she's
Kenyan. Yeah. So why do we always think that because we're African, automatically when you see the younger ones, they have to respect us? Respect is earned. You don't ask for it. It's you earn it. You don't ask for it. I have my nieces, and my nephew that were born and brought up here. I have one who's in her 30s. And my aunt, mom's younger sister. If that girl sees me and her friend today, she's on her knees.
Toby, are you hearing?
Toby,
Wait. Omoti.
Yes?
Both knees will knock and they will rub the ground.
Oh yes, she will on the ground.
I'm not telling you, Toby.
Chai, there is God.
And our younger ones. I'll tell you what. The last time we went to the British Museum, this girl was asking me a question when I was at the masquerade, the African section. This girl just walked by. She was asking me a question. So she didn't realize I'm a Nigerian. You know what she did? She almost went on her knees. Good afternoon, auntie. I said, no. Why? In this state, no, don't do that. Some of these kids, that tradition has been imbibed in them.
Yeah.
You don't even ask for a lot of them. A lot of them. I mean, the irony of this thing is when you even go to Nigeria, it's even worse in Nigeria than here. It's even worse in Nigeria because I've been to Nigeria a few times where I've seen those rich spoiled kids telling their teacher that you can't be talking to me like that. My parents pay your parents pay your salary.
Salary, yes.
Yeah.
Which is true. So her reaction was unjustifiable on all levels. It was uncalled for. It was uncalled for. And you see this when they are older, they are gra. No, let me give you a quick snapshot into my own. My father is in his 80s. He left my mom when I was around 5-6 years old, right? And for the last 35, 36 years of my life, he hasn't been part of it. And this is the same man that because he's my father, automatically I have to look after him now in his old age. Can you imagine that? And this man has not seen anything wrong. Anything wrong abandoning your child for well over 30 years. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. And he still expect that child to come and be looking after him, in his old age.
Wow.
So all this African thing I have 3 children. Like I tell you, if you see them tomorrow, ask them. They know mommy scream, mommy shout. And I tell them, sometimes when I scream, once I'm calmed down, I call all of them or whoever I'm screaming at the time. I call that, that particular child, and I explain to him or her that this is the reason why I was shouting.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure you get, and I let them he or she understand the reason behind it. And if need be, I apologize to that child. And I've told them that, listen, whenever mommy shouts, doesn't mean that mommy doesn't love you. Sometimes you frustrate mommy. But if you think how mommy shouted or how mommy treated you, you don't like it, let me know. Let me explain myself. And if I need to apologize, I apologize. And they do. They come, mommy, I don't like the way you spoke to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
So you have to give them that up, you have to give them that room exactly. Dialogue, talk to them. It's not everything you slap, you beat. No.
I'll be abusing. African parents can abusing. You'll be playing soccer.
How can you be praying with your mouth out all night? You come back home the next morning and you're
exactly.
Too much from all night.
No, I know Yoruba mothers will abuse the husband's family instead of abusing the child. They will like, see, that's how your father's head and his family, they're not correct.
Exactly.
Your father's family.
Because they cannot abuse the husband.
And if it's the father too, the father will say your mother's family.
Exactly, vice versa.
Let me give you a quick one. Sam shared that video with her siblings in Nigeria and his older sister, and I said, "Oh, that typical African people. Oh, that girl is rude. She's this, she's that." Sam told his older sister that, listen, don't you ever think you will lay your hands on my children. Any one of you, if you try it, I will take it.
Ahead of time.
I'm telling you, none of you has any right to lay your hands on my children. When your father was alive, that was his time. Even now, if he's still alive, he cannot try such now. He cannot. So none of you should think of race. If my child did anything you don't like, tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me. And I know how to deal with my child. So you raising your child, you have nobody on this earth. Maybe when we're growing up in secondary school, our caregiver, people that are supposed to be, looking after us. When I was in secondary school, I got beaten that my uniform I was bleeding from behind.
Wow.
On just one tiny offense.
Wow.
Who beat you? Your teacher?
My teacher, exactly. Because my friend borrowed my textbook. And the teacher found out that the girl didn't have the textbook. I have the textbook. The girl told the teacher that, it was Sarumi that sold me the book. Oh, really? The teacher said, oh, go and call that person. And I went to the senior library. I got there. Oh, this is what this person said. Blah, blah. I said, no. And I was flogged. I had blood stain on my uniform.
Can you imagine?
I'm so sorry.
This was over 25 years ago. I still remember like yesterday.
So sorry.
So we were growing up. Yeah, that was the way of life then. But don't try such. In this, in 2021, you don't do such. No, you don't. That woman went beyond her boundary. She went completely beyond her boundary. And if anything happened, if she gets sent to jail, she deserves it. Next time, she will learn a lesson that this is Obodo Igbo.
We gotta respect. I
think the judge should make her write an apology letter to that girl. Do an apology video to that girl. The girl would have to read it and approve.
I will not be surprised if that girl's parents take a civil case against her.
They should.
I think they should.
They should.
According to her sister's tweets, that's what she was saying, that the police, they're going to the case has been taken further.
Yeah. So, I think they should. And I'm so Amoti, what do you think of the girls, the way she handled it?
Oh, I'm in support of that girl. The way she spoke for herself.
she spoke for herself. If sometimes when you hear my 8-year-old speak, you are wondering where did that confidence come from? They teach them to speak for themselves. They teach them to have that confidence. My children's school, every day they have to read, to be able to build their presentation confidence. Every day they have to do a presentation within their class so that they learn how to speak in the public. They know how to defend themselves. So that girl, in everything she did, I'm in support of her because she stood for herself. She, everything she did, that woman, no.
Thank you.
The woman, me, I just wish. I was just waiting for
no.
They didn't film up
exactly. Put the wig bitter. Because when
I wish
in London,
my spirit would have been there to help me.
When you see these kids in London, when they break up from school, you see all of them in packs on the bus at the top of the deck. All of them at the back, they're screaming, they're doing also. Just don't get involved with them because if that's what they do. Teenagers, that's what we do.
I went to high school here. Well, partially
9 months.
Not a degree. So I would say I was also raised in the Canadian way. I'm joking. So yeah, we used to make all those noise and all those stuff in the back. But like, never in my life has somebody of another race approached me to say you are being unruly in this area.
Unruly.
All those things that they use. We see Festus. Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen Festus live before. So Festus, you can unmute yourself.
You can mute yourself and contribute.
That woman is even lucky. That woman is even lucky. If they had caught her in the corner area, oh my God, they would have killed her.
We don't know whether they did that, so because we didn't see the end of it.
You were reading my mind. End of it.
Toby and you.
Because those.
Another thing that I think we learn from the video is, this is not going to end today. It's not going to end tomorrow. There are other people. There are some people who are stagnant, right? They don't want change. Right, so because change is hard, right? Some people don't like change, right? I mean, most people, people don't like change because as humans, we're afraid to adapt to the new things.
Yep.
Right? So I think for us as parents, we should take this back home, and I think words of affirmation for our kids is really, really important. Like growing up, I know, like my mom kept telling me this every time. Moses, even though I did something wrong or I did something bad, she will scold me in her own way. She'll do stuff in her own way, but she'll come back to me and tell me, "Listen, you are the best in this. You're the best child. You're the best boy in your class. That words of affirmation led me through to my life today that I am. So even growing up as a kid, you hear my teenagers saying, I don't know if you grew up like they will say, you're too smart. That word, you're too smart, it's not like a bad thing. They want to make you feel bad, but it's the confidence that your parents are already built in you. That will enable you be that kind of a person. Right?
That's true.
Because at the end of the day, those are the tools that you can't get from anywhere. But you as a parent, that's a part of the duty
you owe to your kid.
Words of affirmation, words of love, letting them know they are the best at anything. Even though they are not doing well, encourage them. They are the best at it. There's nothing worth more than parents, hearing that word from your parents and knowing that, okay, my dad and my mom, they trust me. There's a reason why if there's a game in school, kids want their parents to be there. Because they know that if their parents are there, they will perform more better because they know someone that they love and they look up to. So it's totally different. That's for me. I think that's one of my big take because it's like your family against the world because you will not be with them all the time.
That's true.
Great
Festus, let's hear from you. I don't think we've heard from Festus.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Festus. How are you?
You're looking like a lawyer. Are you?
She's the judge. Festus is the judge. Your Honor, Honor, please calm down, Your Honor. He doesn't realize you're the judge.
See. Justice, common sense. My respect to you, Honor.
They are now speaking their lingo.
We receive it.
Sorry, carry on, Festus. Thank you.
Nice to join you guys. It's been a while. I've not been able to. I don't know. YouTube is not there. Doesn't give me notifications for some of your videos.
Oh,
did you click on the all bell notification?
Sometimes you might have to unsubscribe, subscribe again, and click the notification bell with all sign. It does that sometimes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But we do this every Saturday at 2 p.m. Toronto time, so we'll always be here for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we update the community tab too,
so you get
on what's going on, like usually on Thursday or Wednesday nights, to get people prepared.
All right. This is 8 a.m. This is 8:21 a.m. Australian time.
Oh wow!
Anyway, greetings from Australia.
In Australia.
From down under.
On down under.
Australia in the future.
So you're in Sunday now.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yes, we're in Sunday morning.
Yeah, in the future.
Wow.
Sunday.
Yeah, they're in the future.
There are people from London, Canada, and what's it called, and California on the line. So please, let
the best spot
ever. Thank you for let us know what you think about the topic.
That's why there's this saying in America that don't think about the world ending today because it's already tomorrow in Australia.
As an American, I approve that message.
The world does not revolve around you, America.
Okay, carry on.
All right, very quickly, because before I jump into my place of work, because I have I think another 40 minutes or so. I watched that video, and I saw the all transpired. I have a divergent view from some of the panelists are saying. This thing is two-sided. Now, growing up in Nigeria, I was born and raised in Nigeria before coming overseas. The kind of the first point of call in what is socialization as a kid is your family system, right? Yes. So family system encompasses the nuclear family, which is your father, your mom, and your siblings, and the extended families, which make up of your uncles, your aunties, your aunts, your nieces, your nephews, and the like.
Yeah.
So these whole persons have different roles to play in your life. Now, let me talk about the good side before talking about the negative side. The good side is that those extended families have helped a lot of us who are now adults. They have helped us to shape our life and pattern us to be more disciplined in some certain areas. Now, as a young man, there are some certain things now I can't do. Not because I don't love to do them, you understand? But those kind of upbringing where you have not just your mom and your father looking over your shoulders, you have uncles that if, for instance, my mom tells me do something and I didn't do it, even if my father is not around, you have uncles who will correct you with a stroke of the cane. You understand? So this has a way of impacting some of the decisions we make. That's why if you see children who are raised in the 90s, 80s, and 70s tend to be more disciplined than millennials who were born in 2000, 2002, 2010, and so on. Because parents,
Yo, Gen Z, are you listening?
Yes, because
you see your
this is gonna be intense today.
Yeah.
Yes, because
maybe George.
Sorry, George.
Yeah,
sorry,
because parents tend to be more parents of these days are more liberal. Let me give you a personal example of my family. I was born into a family of into like a very polygamous family system growing up. Now, the kind of discipline that my mom extended towards I and my elder sister is not the same as what she extended towards my younger sister. You understand? So my mom tended to become, maybe my younger sister was born because the age gap between me and my younger sister is like 5 years. So she tended to become more soft to my younger sister. You understand? So I lost my father about 13 years ago. So my mom tend to overlook some certain things my younger sister does. She just look at him. He's a girl. She's a child. But I was just looking. This is my mom that raised me and my elder sister. We go and do everything in the house. You understand? So if I had not stepped in, because since my father is no longer around, to like profile that kind of tough love, tough love is love that comes with discipline. These days now, my sister have seen that, oh, my elder brother really loves me, because she was thinking some certain corrections I do for her was maybe because I have hatred or so. No, because I wanted her to get better. And now she's beginning to realize that, oh, everything my brother was doing for me was in my best interest. Now you have on the contrary side, you have parents or family members who have taken that discipline to extreme. You understand? You go and visit your auntie or your sister, and maybe you see the daughter or the children do something, and you want to quickly correct them, and you correct them so harshly. Even if the mom is your sister, you have to accord her some level of respect too. Because on certain, they don't want you to like bully their children too much. You understand? You can say, "Oh, Shade, this thing there's the way you correct somebody, and even your sister or the parents will not feel offended." But you have family members who take this stuff to the extreme, and they make the parents feel offended. So children who parents have become more liberal.
So in this situation for the video,
did you watch the video?
Yeah,
I did. Now, like the video
from the woman's perspective and the child's perspective. Yes, what do you have to say? Because these are two total strangers.
They don't know anybody. They don't know themselves. So what do you have to say concerning that?
Now, for the video, like the lady, that's what I'm saying. That the lady's listen was she took it too far. Those are family members who take things to the extreme. You see somebody.
She's not a family member. That's a stranger in the shop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That she fall into the category of people who do like I'm just using family setting now because I'm just trying to because if you see most African women, even me as an African here, if I see a black person, I see him like a brother. You understand? You feel that this person, like both of you are like interconnected somehow. Even if the person is Kenyan, I'm Nigerian, or the person is from Zimbabwe, But meeting somebody you don't know for the first time and try to bully the person like she did, that was an extreme case. That was very uncalled for and very ruly. You understand? So the way the lady handled it was, she was a bit calm, very professional about it, because you can't just meet somebody and you just say, some people have this kind of entitlement mentality. Oh, because I'm older than you, you must respect me. They forget that respect is earned. Respect is not deserved. But some people have the school of thought that because I'm 40 years, you are 25, you should greet me in the morning.
Ageism.
So that kind of stuff. So my mom used to say that if a grown-up man calls a child his wife, he has given the child the permission to insult him.
What does that mean?
It's a parable.
What does that
Do you understand?
mean? Like, what does it mean?
Now, you see, what it translates is that the way you how do I put that? The way you express yourself to a younger person will determine if they accord you respect or not.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Okay.
So the way that lady responded to that young girl was totally uncalled for. That's why she got what she deserved. She was feeling entitled because I'm older than you have to respect me. No. If the girl said something wrong, I said, "Oh, my dear, I think you should have done it like this." There's where you correct somebody because especially in civilized society, things are taking like a lot of things are looked at in different ways. For instance, if you what they call it like some of the punitive measures my mom was used to met on me when I was growing up. If you try it here in Australia, the government will take away your children from you. You understand? Because it's what they call child protection. So if your child goes to school and complain that, oh, my mom beats me up, or you starve the child, you didn't give the child food,
they'll take them away.
If the teacher reports it to the police, they start coming to your house every day. You understand? And they'll be watching if they see any track of that allegation, they'll take your children away from you. You understand? They see that you are incapable of raising children. They put them in foster homes and government start taking care of them. So people, we need to like strike a balance, you know. Then the other aspect is
girls'
like
response.
the way children are raised in Western society. To be very candid, if you follow it to the latter, you realize that many of our children are getting spoiled.
I want you to comment on Festus. I'm sorry to cut you in. I want you to comment on the girls' behavior because we're looking at this thing on two sides. That's how we do on the Common Sense platform, right? The girl's behavior towards the woman, how she handled the situation. What's your opinion on that? The teenage girl.
I'll say I give her a pass rate because she wasn't insulting. Say, oh, I don't know you, you know, that kind of stuff. Because you're just meeting me. Imagine somebody meeting me for the first time here and say, oh, look at the way you even look at the way look at the way you are not dressed properly. You know, I have like your I have your age mate in the house. You know,
black girl should be behaving and all that.
So
yes,
you don't think
that
the teenager was rude? You don't think? Do you think the teenager was rude or not?
a lot of things are interpreted differently. Sometimes even you can use some calm words, but I can't say, I'm not the judge now. I'm not in the position to judge.
In the situation, like, do you think her standing up for herself? Do you think that she was rude or she was okay with standing up for herself?
Yeah, for standing up for herself. Yes, like part of the things we do here, there's what they call self-care. You understand? Self-care and looking after your own self. You know, you don't allow people to encroach into your own space. You set some kind of boundaries. You know, so when people like go above that borderline, you won't just want to put them where they belong. You understand? She was just actually defending herself and standing up for herself. So there are some persons that you say some kind of all those things to, they will not feel. Some people will just ignore it and walk away, but not everybody walk away.
Okay,
you understand? Some people walk away.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you so much for contributing to this. I think we have a new person who hasn't spoken, Miss Amore.
Yeah.
So you can.
Miss Amore, welcome to the live stream. Can you hear us? Miss Amore, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to mute my mic.
Welcome to the show of today. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Boston.
From Boston. So 3 Americans in the house.
Nobody's coming from Canada apart from Jake.
Nigeria.
Wow. Now, what part of Boston are you from? Sorry, real quick.
Which you want to know?
Yeah, because I went to school in Boston. That's why I'm asking. Anyways, yeah.
Massachusetts area, close to UMass.
UMass. I went to UMass actually.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Topic at hand, please allow me.
Sorry, Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor. Boston. The Boston part just tickled my ears. I apologize.
So now we don't say people when somebody when they so cow get the ear they tickle when you hear Boston.
I'm coming to Boston too.
Boston, Australia. Festus.
I like this in Boston.
Mr. Murray, welcome to the show. You see the way they all welcomed him in the panel. That's how they do
it. Yes.
This is our topic at hand, just in case.
Yes. I've seen the topic and I've been watching the show, but I just wanted to comment and say a few things. So me, I'm on the side of the girl. Funny enough, the video was sent to me by a friend of mine, and she expected me to comment, probably bash the young girl, and I just told her that my sister, the auntie, is an agbaya, and she was shocked because she was like, why would I say such a thing like that? Because I believe that. I think I interact with people a lot, and I've interacted with parents, Nigerian parents in the diaspora, and I've come to realize that I don't think we understand that children have a mind of their own. I don't think they understand that children have personalities, and they know why as they're growing as kids, they already know why, and they have feelings too as well. You just don't come into somebody's space and encroach on what they think about themselves, and even as young as a kid. And that's why American children are more assertive, are more confident, and they can be able to navigate life differently than the typical African child. It's always a struggle when an African comes and tries to navigate themselves in America, because of you first of all have to deal with the fact that you have to find your bearing in a country where you're told to express yourself and be assertive, right? So the other thing I was going to say, I was also talking to my younger sister today about this same video. And I realized another thing, that the biggest problem with Nigerian parenting or African parenting in general, it's that I don't think our parents know how to communicate. They don't know how to use their words. And that's why if they feel a certain way about something, if they feel a certain way about maybe my child disrespected me or something, it's always the next level, hitting bad moves here and there, and you're like, if only they knew how to communicate. Because I've seen some Nigerian parents that raise kids differently. They don't hit their kids, but the kids are very respectful because there is a communication thing. And I think in the way, because of ageism, because of this thing called respect, you find an adult person trying to have a conversation with a young adult. Is that my mate? Are you my mate? That will come and be having conversations with you. It's the problem of communication. I watch Obodoyibo TV. That's why I knew of you guys, right? Shout out to her. And there was a caller that talked about maladjustment, and that thing has always stuck.
Yes.
Because I feel like the way we are, the way we look at things, the way our culture has been mapped. We talk about, there's a respect for the elders. But if you think about the toxic things that happen because of this thing called respect in our culture, it's something that we need to go ingrain. And yes, there are some people that bring conversations ahead, but in America, look at how the kids are, how unruly they are. It's not in all American families. Why are we always selecting the bad family? Why are we always selecting the one that the child said, "Mommy, shut up"? There are families where the child is communicating. There's clear communication. There's no disrespect. In things, there are extremes. And unfortunately, in our culture as Africans, we have been extreme with this thing called ageism. We have silenced children because of ageism. We have disrespected our children. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little passionate.
Don't be sorry,
I shouldn't be sorry. Yeah, that's true. But I've seen. You said? What did you say?
You can't. Don't be sorry. Be free.
I've seen a lot of adults get away with this thing, ageism, and just silencing people from speaking their mind. And now the final thing I'll say is I look at the reflection. Look at countries like America. Look at Nigeria. Look at countries in Africa. What's the difference? What has this culture of respect, what has it done? Are we not complaining about the kind of leaders we have in our system because we can't call them out because of respect?
We are praying for them. They say we should pray. Who they pray?
So let's be real. I don't feel bad for the young girl did what I would have done. Oh, then there's the last thing I wrote down some notes. This is the last thing I would say. You know how people, when they go to boarding school, right? You are a junior in boarding school. You're looking forward to when you become a senior.
I was one of those.
That is exactly what is happening, because the way some people talk about how, oh my God, if my child is, I'll beat them. You don't even know the child you're going to have. The way you are looking forward to impact that kid. You don't know the kid that you have. You don't even know what the generation is going to be like in the next 20 years. You don't know how much research has been done with or the breakthroughs of understanding the psychology of a child in the next 10 years, that you can use that and impact with the way you raise the child. You're already like, oh no, I will beat that child. Come on. So that's my own 2 cents, sir. I just feel like I need to say my mind.
Can I say something?
Nice.
Can you hear me?
Jay, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Jay, we can hear you. Say something. Say everything.
Oh, okay.
And then Adewale will go after you.
Okay. So there was something
Sorry to interrupt. I'm very sorry. This is so rude of me. We are sharing Vashwa Biscuito.
Yo Miliki. This is not nice. Hey, Militia, this is not nice.
We go tell the IT people, maybe they do technology where we go to share and through the
Okay,
system.
I hereby invoke my right as the bailiff to demand the biscuit right now, please.
No, no, say the bailiff get right.
It's seconded by Honorable Festus.
Thank you.
Can
Thank you.
I share my own bread agege and I go?
At our own benefits.
Oh, see life. You dey enjoy. You dey enjoy life.
Because Omoti, you have blue body. You have blue body.
See, I get bread.
Say our baby bread now. We blue band. We pay for you.
See
this. We pay.
All the food are hereby revoked and sent to the men. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Yes.
Let's have it. Oh, this was a good icebreaker. Come on, Jay, we have you now.
Oh, thank you. So there was one thing that Festus mentioned that I kind of still disagree with, and it's the inclusion of your extended family into raising your kids, and that whole, adding that extra layer of people looking over your shoulder. I still disagree with that. I think that raising a kid is a parent's primary responsibility. Now, if one of the parents are not in the picture, I can see somebody stepping in and taking that, figure of either a father or a mom. But in terms of raising your kids, like an uncle and an aunt, including themselves in disciplining your kids, I completely disagree with that. I think, and I'm using my family as an example as well, maybe in an ideal world where everybody's well adjusted and they don't have issues, then I can feel confident maybe allowing people to have access to disciplining my kids. But I'm going to use my family as an example. I know that, my grandma, God rest her soul, she was very lovely to us, the grandkids, but she had very toxic ways of raising my parents and her siblings. Do I want that kind of toxicity passed on? No. So in my opinion, I just disagree with that whole, having an extra layer of somebody adding into the discipline of your children. I feel like to me, it just takes away the responsibility of a parent doing their jobs properly. And then it just adds that extra. To me, I just feel like it erodes trust. The primary responsibility of your child, you're supposed to be responsible for raising your child completely. And when you give birth to a kid, and I've talked about this with my therapist, is that emotional bond happens with the mother and the child, and then with the father and the child. Adding some third party or fourth party or fifth party, to me, starts to erode that trust that the child is supposed to build in terms of having confidence to know that there's always going to be that one adult that I can go to, or those two adults that I can go to have tough conversations and be disciplined. So I don't know, I feel like once we start giving more people access to raising our kids, then the line starts getting blurred a little bit, and then people don't know when to stop. If you set firm boundaries around, you will not be raising your hands on my kids, you will not be yelling on I don't even care who you are, you can't do that. So that's kind of where I disagree. I get the sentiments behind it, but I just feel like it opens a kind
of worms and all of that. Okay.
Able to have about. And then there was another thing that he mentioned that I also slightly disagree. Actually, I completely disagree with this. Is kids that were born in the 90s are more.
Yeah, I was going to respond to that as well, but go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like I get the sentiment, but what are we exactly defining as respectful? Do we think that having respect is being subservient, being quiet, not being able to stand up for yourself, calling people or allowing yourself to get beat, and not being able to say something when somebody is wrong, especially when somebody's in a position of power? Is that what we call well-behaved? Do we think that maybe because Gen Z or millennials are more outspoken they speak up for themselves, they don't take nonsense from adults, then that makes them spoiled. I don't think that generationally there's much of a difference between the way kids were raised. I think if anybody should be taking responsibility of how certain generations come up, it's the parents. Yes, exactly. It's if you're I'm going to use, if you're a shit parent, you're going to raise kids. It doesn't matter what generation you belong. I know people in my parents' generation that, you know, the parents were trash and the children ended up being trash. Same way with my generation, there were people that were, you know, that the parents were trash and the people ended up being. So you know, let's also start thinking about what we define as respect. Well, being well behaved, being quiet, or, you know, kneeling down on crashing your kneecaps when you get on the floor because
we are still on this kneeling thing.
That's something I respect, or do we think that respect is actually treating people fairly, equally, acknowledging them as in their existence as a human being, and treating everybody that they come in contact with respect?
Preach, Jay, preach.
It's like, you know what I mean? So I want to be careful around that language of, you know, people are more respected than that, because respect to me in the African setting can be a little bit toxic the way we define it.
Okay, we hear you. So let's
can I respond quickly?
Okay, we'll allow Festus to respond, and then
we have to ask Adewale. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Jay. Can you hear me, please?
We are hearing you. Everybody can hear you. Yeah.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. I totally agree with you, but maybe the word I used, maybe it was maybe it had a divergent meaning in terms of maybe the way you interpreted it. The first one, you talked about me saying extended family. I only use that. I said growing up back in Nigeria. I'm not saying that's present day is advisable to like bring in extended families into your life, you know. So I was only saying that the family is like a means of the first point of call in terms of socialization for a child. You know, that in that family system when I have nuclear family and extended family. You know, I was only using that as an example why growing up. Is that the one clear now?
Okay.
Yes. Then the second aspect of what you said, which I agree with that. I'm not saying children born like millennials. I even happen to be among the millennials because I was born in the 90s. Sorry. Hold on.
Festus, you just outed yourself. Wow.
See, when I say children born like maybe some of us in the 90s or maybe 2000, you know, tend to be they
2000 is Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z is from 1998.
Go ahead, Festus.
Okay, hold on, please. See, so when I use the word spoiled, I use the word very carefully. You understand?
Okay.
I know that I'm very careful in terms of the usage of words. It has a lot of different meanings. You know, what I'm using that for, I'm not using that to say okay that people who are like I'm not using in terms of respect alone. I'm using it in broader context. Let me give you a clear scenario. Now, if you look at Nigeria, for instance, now you look at the pass rate in JAM, it has reduced drastically. You look at the results that were coming out from schools back in Nigeria. Now, it is very low. Academic performance has dropped. I'm not talking about respect now. I'm looking at a broader context. You understand? So, because I'm a social worker, and one of the things when you look at things, we look at things as an eclectic view. We don't look at it like I'm not looking at it from just respect angle. I'm looking at it in terms of I know that how like people who were born like in the 80s and maybe early 90s and so on. You see that when you see somebody that have second class upper or even two, like second class lower in Nigeria, you know, by the time they go overseas, some of them end up getting first class and the likes. You see them distinguishing themselves. But now you see somebody who have second class upper, they cannot even write a good cover letter. They cannot write a good resume.
Okay.
So I'm not talking about sports just in terms of respect. Now on the respect angle, before I allow this other link to speak quickly, on the respect angle, we back home we have misinterpreted subjugation into submission. Most people think that because I portray my need to greet somebody means I'm respectful. No, like I've seen it especially with no recourse to insulting any like to derogate to the Yorubas. Now, if you go to Yoruba land now, you see a Yoruba person, by the time they see like their uncle or their auntie, they just prostrate. But the same person will even talk to you, maybe an Igbo person or somebody outside Yoruba race. They don't display any form of respect. You understand? Even back in, like even in church too.
I think Festus.
Let's allow Adewale.
I think we need to allow. Sorry to cut in like that, okay? But please, I want to allow. Toby, did you want to respond? Could you wait after Adewale?
Can we please wait so that because we've not heard from Adewale?
Yeah, I'll go after Adewale. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, Adewale, unmute yourself, please.
Hello everyone.
Hi Adewale, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Yeah. So before I go on about what I wanted to say, I just quickly want to say something about what Festus, Mr. Festus said.
Adewale. Adewale.
You are beefing this Australian time.
Adewale, see, can we let me is he employ you now? But let me appeal to you that could you please just comment on the video first?
Okay.
On the video
okay, I'll
first,
just do that.
and then Toby will respond, and then you will respond. Is that okay?
Yes, it is.
Festus is in the middle of all of us. That's why everybody is.
It is.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Okay.
So I'm in support of the UK teenager, and I think the reason why people in Nigeria, other people are in support of the ladies because they're watching the video as a whole. They're not looking at what happened from the they're not watching the video chronologically. Like if you watch the video from the beginning, you'd see that the teenager was not actually responding to the lady. She was like minding her own business. And then the middle-aged woman got so loud that she had to turn back. And the first thing she said, and she kept repeating, was, "I don't know you, I don't know you, I don't know you, I don't know you." But the woman still she kept screaming. And then the teenager, she got fed up and she started responding with insults and everything, and it escalated from there. So what I saw from that video was the exact reason why Nigeria, Africa as a whole, is the way it is, because the older people, we don't believe that respect is earned. We just older people just believe they always just demand that respect. I'm older than you, for that reason you have to respect me. Like the fact that I'm older than you, maybe with even a few months, you just have to respect me. Everything I say goes that's just how it is. That's why we can't hold our leaders accountable. Everyone just Augusta. We call our leaders His Excellency, His Excellency. What else? Honorable. And there's nothing honorable about them. We can't really do anything because it's the same thing. The basic unit of a society is family, right? From family, if the family is trash, the whole country is just going to be trash. Exactly. So because of the way we see respect, we don't think respect is something, and we think it's just something you demand. That's So that's why. And that was what the teenager did there was something an average Nigerian, even an average 40-year-old Nigerian cannot do with their elders or the governors or the councillors, even the president. They're just going to shut you down and they just stay quiet. So that's what I saw in that video. And I wasn't raised communally because my own father, he wanted to raise us different, and he just believed other people weren't really raising their children the way he wanted it. So he caged us. So I don't when people talk about community raising children, I really don't. I can't relate because I wasn't raised that way. My dad just caged us. So even sometimes when we went to see other members of the family and we did things differently, and then they reprimanded us, my dad wouldn't even say anything. He just asked us to come back home immediately. He doesn't want his children with someone else. That's what he does. Just stop packing your bags and come back home. So I don't get this community thing. Everyone is, we are all community, and we don't really love each other. Even the community, we don't even really help each other anyways. So I don't really get the point of the community. That's why people always say, people always say an average Nigerian hates his fellow Nigerian. Even when we go to diaspora, the community really doesn't really help us. So I don't.
Permeates the community.
It's still there. Exactly. So I don't get why people are obsessed with this community raising the children thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just my own view. Yeah, that's it. So
Toby, respond to Festus, then Adewale, then any other.
Okay. All right. So the gentleman Festus said a lot of things that I would like to unpack real quick. Um, so the first thing is, I think he was suggesting an erosion of value system, which I completely disagree with. I said something at the beginning of the show. I don't think he was here then. Every time there's a cultural shift, there will be a change in social norms, in social mores. It does not mean the core value systems are eroding. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that, so I disagree with the idea that Gen Zs or millennials are less respectful, they have less value system compared to those raised in the 70s and 80s. The second point I want to make is that community raising or community responsibility assumes a commonality of parental script, which means you're assuming that we are all using a common script to raise a child. So oftentimes when the direct parent is not available, the uncles, the other mummies will step in and they're using a completely different script oftentimes. So the child is left confused. Which one do I follow? Do I follow what my biological parents are telling me, or do I follow what this other parent, so-called code or code, is telling me? So that often happens. So the point is, when you assume the role, when you say community should raise a child or whatever, you're suggesting that there is a general script we're all using. Everybody knows that script, and that script has to be enforced, which is completely a lie. And the last point I'm going to make on that is the point of discipline. So, somebody, I talked about the culture warriors. They might say, "Oh, these kids nowadays, they like discipline, blah blah blah." Well, how do you define discipline? I think Jay did a tremendous job of explaining, what respect actually means, as opposed to how you expect me to respect you. So I was, like I said a while ago, I was raised by two disciplinarians. I was raised by a military officer. I was raised by a teacher. And I was disciplined. But here was what my parents did though. Before they disciplined you, they will explain to you. They will let you know, here is what I said not to do. And because you did it, here is the consequence. It is that simple. You are not going to be left in the dark with regards to what's going on. So this is not an impulsive response, lashing out aggression towards a child, and the child has no clue whatsoever what is going on. Like, what have I done in my life? Why was I born into this family to begin with? What have I done to deserve this kind of maltreatment? So those are the points I want to know. So I don't believe that there's an erosion of value systems. I don't believe that Gen Zs are less respectful. I believe that because there will always be cultural shift, the manner in which we express those value systems, those behavioral tendencies, qualities might change, but the core values, they remain the same. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Any other contributors?
I think Adewale said he wanted to say
Adewale,
something.
you also wanted to say something, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say something about what Mr. Festus said, and I think there's a part where he said something about the current, like the Gen Zs and their UTME scores are a lot lower than it was in the past. But that thing is like, it's a cliche, because every generation always thinks that the generation after them are lazy. Our parents' generation think we were lazy. Even our grandparents' generation thought our parents' generation were lazy. But it's not actually true. It's just that times are changing. And the reason why the Gen Z's UTME scores are lower now, it's not their fault.
It
actually is
just
the fact that our education system in Nigeria is falling and it keeps falling. It's not their fault. It's just this. Even when you talk about when I left Nigeria and I moved to a different country where the education system was different, I got to see the whole picture, and I realized that in Nigeria we are taught a lot of irrelevant things. We taught things that actually matter, things that we could actually use in the real world. So maybe back then, when people with 2-1 were doing really well, was because at the time what they learned in Nigeria was still useful in the society. But what those people who had 2-1 learned in Nigeria is still the same thing. People in the current generation are still learning. But what has moved way ahead of that? It can't help them anymore. So it's not that they're lazy. It's just that our education system is stagnant.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not. It's not improving. So you can't really, use that to say that, Gen Zs are not doing well, or they're lazy, or they're spoiled. That's a fallacy, I think.
Anybody can chip in anything.
Okay, I just wanted to add something to what you just said about, the educational system falling behind. I wrote JAM. To be honest, there was a time where I was like, let me just guess. ZA, ZB, ZC. We'll shall write. I'm waiting for something to happen. And thank God I didn't have to write JAM more than once. I wrote it once and I passed. I think, it's the same way, how like everybody, because of COVID, people are working remotely now. And then because the world is opening back up, millennials and even Gen X are requesting that they have the flexibility to pick where they work from, right? But then you find that the boomers are like, so they just want to just sit at home and they just want to be doing typing on their computer and watching TV all day. Come to the office. How will we know if you're not working? And it's like, because you don't get that our generation wants something different doesn't mean that it is wrong. Now I'm saying probably the reason why JAMB is not, working is I feel like this generation has kind of realized that maybe education, especially education in Nigeria, is probably pointless. And it's not a wrong
perception.
It's not a wrong perception. Sure, you get like some people have realized that
you go to all the school, you come out and there are no jobs.
Yeah. I can take courses on YouTube and start, an IT business without actually having to go through the hoops of writing JAMB and praying and fasting for 3 months and hoping that you know what I mean. So it's like the perception of what education means for that generation has shifted, and
it has.
If anybody should take the blame of why that
this is new look.
Common sense sisters.
Very different to me.
Common sense sisters.
Yes,
I have a terrible JAMB story I need to share with you guys.
After your own, me I go share my own. Maybe I will have confidence.
All right.
It was at that moment I decided to jack back from Niger.
That's why that man was shouting at you.
Have a good evening next week.
I mean, all right, I'll just make it brief. So I'm sitting in the hall. I mean, engineering potentially, physics, chemistry, all of those, and I'm using my head as I was raised to do in every situation. My head now, meaning, I didn't use the extra. I wasn't informed though that I was supposed to be using extra help. So this invigilator, he stepped forward and he was raking about, let me tell you guys in this school, go and ask about me. I'm a no-nonsense teacher. I'm not going to tolerate any kind of cheating. I'm not going to tolerate. I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is great. Today, we're all going to use our brain power today. Omo. By the time he says start, 10 minutes into the start that he announced, the windows where people were flying in through the windows, agents coming in with answers to their customers or clients. I don't know what word to use now. In the room, this man stood there. The man that was preaching 5 minutes ago, he stood there. He watched it, and then somebody shook his hands. They gave him his own card, and then he just allowed free reign in the room. People were passing answers. They were passing to their clients. 20 minutes later, they were done. Everybody was done. So it was me, one of that deeper life girl, and wait, you don't finish. And then I think, and then one of that guy, those are supposedly were the ones using our heads to do the exam. This idiot, this invigilator came to us. He said, now wow, wait till nasty they right. Now mates, we don't finish. Did they have 2 heads? I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I just saw what happened. You I don't want to cross on your shoe. I mean, that was the day, guys, ladies and gentlemen. That was the day I decided, and I promised myself that I'm done with this country. It is time for me to jump. I came to the conclusion that I was born in the wrong country. That it was time for me to japa, and from that moment on, thankfully, I'm free. Praise the Lord.
Your ex-president PMB, because now you're no longer in Nigeria. You are now in America. Your ex-president, who is advising people from France and other Western countries to japa and come to Nigeria for greener pastures. Anyways,
what?
I digress.
That's be a joke. That's be a joke.
Any other jam story? So my own jam story is pathetic. As my score now 150 now. Open low. 150 about what? I don't know the but I know say that score would never take me out of this score.
What are you using jam for?
But it wasn't my fault too. Because I mean I was schooling in Benin. My secondary school was in Benin. So myself and my friend we had to travel all the way to Abuja, the way my parents live. Yes, now that night carry us. There's a place that's called the Buari or something. I think it's the place where the jam office is.
That's why. That's the reason why.
We reached there and I reached there now, you know. I don't know whether nervousness has ever made you want to purge. Hey! As soon as they brought the script, you know that those jam form, we have all those things. You have to settle now.
You'll be painting
with the 2B pencil. And so they bring my script every time. So I sit down, my stomach make.
What were you writing? Maths and all those physics things?
I don't know. I forgot what they write. I know that maths and English is part of it, but they brought the paper down and you know with the pencil. I don't know if it's nervousness or tiredness from the travel from the night before. Now so my belly they draw with the pencil as I was shading it, the belly was moving back. I say, I won't go pause you. This thing that's happening. And that's how come I got 150. I was just like once I knew I would do the rest, I would be taking break. But they actually thought I was going to go and cheat, but no. The stomach wasn't. The brain was a bit willing.
The brain was willing.
But hallelujah, I did not repeat. So I went to a gymnasium for 1 year. Then I moved to Ghana. Then before masters in the US, that's my jam story.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. I wrote jam 7 times. They are resilience. They try. But I guess any other person has anything to say so that we'll just round up.
Can be about jam, whatever we're talking about today.
Sorry, I just need to so I just wanted to say one more thing. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Bella.
Yeah, one more thing I wanted to say is that, you know, if you look at statistics of children that are being abused, and by abuse I mean sexual abuse, it's usually somebody that is close to the family, that is intimately well known by the family. I think that should all give us some reason to pause and reflect on who it is that we're giving access to our children. I think I'm going to end on that note, because yes, we can say, oh yeah, it's good to have people to look at our children and discipline them, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you actually don't know who.
The president for us.
That you cannot trust anybody. You know, to protect your children from even if they're your brothers and your sisters. I also watch Obodo Yimbo TV, right? And there's some harrowing stories of uncles, in-laws, aunties physically abusing the children. Exploiting them as well. So you know that to me is kind of like a huge red flag of why we should not just be allowing people to raise children. It's a huge risk, and I don't think that, you know, if you really want to protect your children, that's
guys, real quick. So to the elders or the parents, solution one line. Please, times have changed. Elder, don't assume the role of community mother when you are in public, please. That era has passed. And our elders, our parents need to recognize that. Okay. The best you could have done, going back to the video, was to appeal to the better judgment of that girl. If at all there was a need to correct something, you know, she could have been polite, she could have been respectful. She could have seen her as a human being, as somebody to, instead of publicly shaming and publicly embarrassing that girl. So that is something our elders, our parents, adults need to learn, and they probably need to learn emotional intelligence from the little girl too, because the girl was more in charge. She was more in control than the so-called adult, which is very unfortunate. All right, I'll leave it there, guys. Great show. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Toby. Thank you.
Festus is saying he's at work, so he won't be able to comment anymore.
Yeah,
so
we'll be able to talk. So
thank you. Thank you, Festus.
Yeah.
If Nero or Adewale have any other thing to say before we
Yeah.
end the show.
Yeah, I just
You can go on.
Can I go?
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, just one final thing I want to say is like, as parents, you're responsible for teaching your children respect. And the first thing you can teach them about respect is respecting them as human beings.
Yes.
If you don't respect them and you just demand it from them, they're going to rebel eventually. So you teach them respect is earned and not demanded. That's like a very wrong mentality we have in Africa in general. That's very wrong. And in diaspora, they don't think respect is demanded. So when you go out, even if it's a 5 or 6 year old kid, you don't just go out there screaming at them and telling them they're wayward and you must respect me. It doesn't work that way. And so you just have to change that mindset. It's just completely wrong and backwards. So that's all I wanted to say.
Very true.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, man.
Come back next week.
Come back next week.
I will.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
All right.
Bye. Okay, Nero, we have you. I don't think Festus is calling in again. So
hello.
Festus, you can say something.
Yeah. I have to go upstairs.
Okay, so tell us your final words, okay? That's nice of you.
Okay. Anyway, firstly, what I would say is parents need to people need to treat everyone with respect and dignity, irrespective of our age differences. You understand? Treat people as human beings, even if it's a 5-year-old. We can all learn and share knowledge. We can all benefit from one another. And the idea of this toxicity, all those extremes, of maybe that we call discipline, like the extreme of it is the one I don't really sanction. So those things need to be cut off, and parents, and like our older people, need to start relearning some of the ways they raise people. They don't start feeling too much entitled when you speak up. They feel aggrieved. We can all learn from one another. I think society can be better if family system is well taken care of. So the family system is the most important thing. So if we get the family right, our society can be good.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Thank you
so much, Festus,
for running
upstairs. Thank you. We appreciate you and have a wonderful day today, Sunday.
I can't believe it's Sunday.
Your week don't start.
Oh my goodness.
This is after 9 here. Yeah? It's after 9 already.
Yeah.
Hey, and the judge, please. If I have a case, please, I will bring it before your table.
No, yes, bring it before the court. We are all here. We have a
all right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
Have a great day at work. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. So Nero,
we end with you.
Final words. Yeah. So before Nero speaks, right? Or do I do
go on.
So before Nero speaks, I want to use this opportunity to thank everyone so far that has been on the live show. And I also wanted to use this. We also wanted to. Why am I saying? Now
it's okay. Your eyes.
We also wanted to use the opportunity to thank Toby and Caroline Hippolyte. They gave us money through Cash App last week. So I want to say thank you to Toby and thank you to Caroline for your contribution to Common Sense Sisters. We really appreciate you. Yeah.
And the money came straight to us.
The money came straight.
It didn't cut corners.
The money did not pass through the algorithm.
Good through the algorithm.
No,
so
the money came straight.
Thank you,
Caroline, Hippolyte, and Toby.
Okay, Nero, let's go on.
Nero, you're on.
I just wanted to say this is actually a good topic. I'm wondering what's the next one in a comment.
Well, the next
topic is going to be on intentional parenting, and that's on Saturday
at 2 p.m. Toronto time.
Parenting.
We usually update our community tab, and then
we'll have polls again. What does it mean for intentional parenting? Because when we started the live video, one of I think Gigi suggested I would do something on intentional parenting. So next Saturday we are going to be bringing, or rather calling out to all the intentional parents. So please come here So teach
all
us,
the Samolu,
Omoti, everybody, everybody. Come and let us know what intentional parenting means.
Yes, yeah, and I think
that's what next week topic
is about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your contribution? Yeah. What's your your final words or summaries of today? Take away message.
My takeaway message is: if you know you're not ready to be a parent, and you're thinking of, or if I have my child, I'm going to allow my grandma, my uncle, my everybody community to raise my child. First of all, you shouldn't be thinking of getting married or having a child. Right? That's my takeaway. Number two, in life, if you're not going to be 101% in anything you want to do not get into it if you're not going to give it 100%. So if you're able to go to your work and put in 100% and get paid, why would you not want to put that amount of energy on your child to make sure that she's getting the love she deserves from you and your partner, or from you and your wife, or you and your husband?
Facts.
Right? So that's my own 2 cents on this.
Thank you. Community people, stay clear of Nero.
Stay clear of Nero. And if you know, Nero said, if you know you are not ready to raise a child, even you're over your 100%, then do not be having children.
Because think about it, like for kids who go to school, or for those that go to daycare, like the child is already 40 hours away for a week. So the only time the child is with you mostly is like Saturday and Sunday. So you're already giving the world already to play their part. So how much more do you want to give the world to play? And like when do you come inside to say, okay, I'm stepping in as a dad, or I'm stepping in as a mom to make sure you're doing well and stuff like that? So I don't know.
That's amazing. I didn't think of that. Like, listen, no, your child already spends a lot of time in the world. What time do they have to spend with you as a parent? My advice to the parents is: community is not responsible for your child. Community is not, in no way. You don't, when you go to the airport and you show them your passport, you have what they call surname or last name and first name. That's family name. Which name does my father and my mother have? That's the identity of the child. If you're one of those parents that you will be listening to nonsense from the community, they come and tell you your daughter is doing, your son is doing this, then you want to destroy your child because of what this outsider is saying.
Not because of what people say.
You have to rethink your existence and that child's existence, and probably watch this show again.
Yeah.
So that you learn 1 or 2 things. And you have to be open to change. Yeah. Because anybody that is not open to change is as good as dead. Only the dead does not change. So you have to be wise in that way.
Thank you so much, Nero.
Thank you so much, Nero.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Yeah,
bye. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
And one more thing, graciousness. Graciousness. Thank you for your compliment.
Thank you for your compliment. Thank you.
Graciousness is saying that also, I know it's not directly connected, but the whole obsession with the left hand and the beating it out of the child to not be left-handed anymore is toxic. It is connected.
I knew teachers that used to beat people because of left hand. And usually people that know that
Barack Obama, former president, now lefty.
Even lefty, very, very intelligent people. They will say you are supposed to be respectful, use your right hand. Anyways, on Saturday we're dragging all of them with intentional parenting. Because some of them think that this is part of intentional parenting. No.
The next week's show is going to be on intentional parenting, and we believe that it's going to be amazing because we have a lot of parents on this platform, and whether
kids to come and share their perspective on what they think, what they wish their parents could have done better, that you would have seen them as a more intentional parent, and along those lines.
So we'll be addressing all these topics next week. We want to heavily appreciate everyone
hit the like button
who called in today to comment and give their opinion. We want to also appreciate the debate panel people, those for against, and all that intellectual, the common sense squad. Common sense will never depart from you because your wisdom. We are a tribe. We are part of the squad, and we appreciate you so much for a willingness to share your opinion.
To spend your Saturday and Sunday
with us.
Australia. Do you know anybody from Australia? Now you know Festus from Australia.
Yeah, we appreciate you all. For those who will be coming back to watch the video, please click the like button. those of you who are on here, we know some people used to enjoy the video and they forget. Because give the video a thumbs up.
Share this video, please. Leave a comment in the comment section.
We want to hear from you. Remember, the comment section, whenever you comment,
send this video to the community people. Let them go and cry.
It's interactive.
Yeah.
You know, my own takeaways for the youngies, because today I'm representing Gen Z and those people that are very young and people that are being bullied. Children that watch the Common Sense Sisters, the Common Sense beautiful children, amazing, intelligent children, boys and girls, kids and youth. Come on. I implore you to be assertive. Speak your truths. If you don't agree with something, respectfully disagree.
Own your voice.
Own your voice. If people are trying to undermine you, speak up. In cases where you cannot speak up, you can record the conversation. Please do record the conversation. Okay? Don't if you ever come across the video, you see the way the girl handled it. It's a good way. Whenever bullies come up to you, you need to stand up for yourself.
I think Americans say square up.
Yeah, I don't know, but you need to stand up for yourself. And then when you stand up for yourself, every other person that watches you, courage, they will have that same courage. Okay? Build your self-esteem like that. Don't undermine your intelligence. Don't undermine your creativity. Don't undermine your value in this world. You are needed, you are wanted, and you are appreciated, even though you are not being told. We, the Common Sense Sisters,
we appreciate you for
we are appreciating you, and we are telling you today, you get word for those elders.
Elders, we are bringing you to court, we are dragging you to court. Please always just remember that respect is reciprocal. Respect is earned. You cannot demand respect because of your age. If you respect yourself outside, people will respect you. And remember, like Auntie B and other parents on here, Annie and Omoti, they apologize to their kids. So right now, as we're able to speak it to you, if you have called out your child because of community, what they have said, go to that child and apologize to them. Ask them how you can change. If you are a member of the community and you know you have offended people's children or young adults, teenagers, or anything, go to them and ask them for forgiveness. You are not too big. And also, change your ways. Change is constant in life. So thank you very much to everybody for joining us today. We will see you next week, same time, 2 p.m. Toronto time.
Yes.
And Scott, you had a question for Toby. Toby's already gone, so maybe next week you can ask him.
Maybe he's watching from the behind.
From the behind, yeah. So you can ask Toby next week. So everyone have a wonderful Saturday or Sunday, and we'll see you next week. Together we say, make common sense, never depart from you.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye bye.